Hello, friends, and welcome to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. My name is Smooth Operative, and you are watching Time Capsule. It is the show where we travel back in time to your favorite years in gaming and showcase awesome speedruns of games released in the same year. Tonight, we've got an incredible variety of speedruns for you, with games originally released in 2013, starting with the award-winning game Bioshock Infinite, and later we'll get a little cardio in with Wii U Fit, and finally the mind-bending puzzler Antichamber. So I'm very excited. But of course, before we begin, we must cover those announcements. First off, Summer Games Done Quick will be live from Minneapolis, Minnesota, June 30th through July 6th, so get excited because SGDQ 2024 Games List will be posted very soon on April 26th. Make sure to tag us on social media at Games Done Quick and let us know which games you're hoping to see on the schedule. GDQ Hotfix is also very proud to present its first Asian American and Pacific Islander American Heritage Month celebration. Join us May 18th and 19th for 2 full days of amazing showcases and speedruns to celebrate AAPI heritage. Submissions are open until April 21st, and the schedule will be released on April 29th. For more information on how to submit your speedrun, use the command !AAPI in our Twitch chat. Thank you. So with that, my friends, I am ready to get started. Here to speedrun Bioshock Infinite, please welcome Gulch. Hello.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gulch. Gulch 2. You can call me Gulch. But I'm going to be taking you through Bioshock Infinite. I'll explain the category and a little bit more about the game in general, but we have a little bit of a long intro, so we'll just go ahead and get started. So I'm going to click New Game here.
Sure.
I'm going to play on the easiest difficulty, just to make a little bit of the fights easier. And time will start once the dialogue starts after this screen.
Look at that logo. Classic.
That looks beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Booker,
So time
are you
starts now.
afraid of God?
No,
All right, good luck, Gulch.
Thank
you got
you so
this.
much.
afraid of you.
All right.
So let's talk a little bit about, what's going on with the run.
So let's just start with any %. So that just means that we're going to try to beat the game as fast as possible using whatever glitches we'd like. We also are using the HRH mod, which you can see an icon in the top left-hand corner. That indicates that the HRH mod is active, and that stands for Hill Runner's Hat. So what that's going to do is it's going to allow us to get the Hill Runner's Hat gear first try on our first gear pickup. So normally, if we were not playing with the HRH mod, we would have a 1 in 52 chance to get that gear, and it's super important for the speedrun. It gives us a 50% speed boost when we break our shields, and later on in the run, we're going to get the RPG and the volley gun, and we're going to use those 2 launchers to damage ourselves constantly to get speed boost and run around the map a little bit faster. So we're joined here on this rowboat with the Lutece twins. We haven't properly been introduced to them yet, but we're actually going to skip the part where we do. So I just wanted to mention that in the beginning here. They gave us a little...
Yes, hello to the twins.
We're going to grab on this ladder and make our way to the lighthouse. So just like Bioshock 1, very similar. The game starts at a lighthouse. Only difference is this time, instead of going underwater, we're going to go up in the sky. So,
I guess you're expecting me?
went around that boat ride in the very beginning. The Lutece twins handed us a box. In that box, we have a picture of our target, who we're coming here to the city of Columbia in order to rescue and bring to New York. Also, the hardest puzzle in the game right there. Very, very tricky. Yeah, we had a picture on there. They gave us a box, and it had a picture of Elizabeth, who we'll meet very soon here. And on the back, it said to bring it to New York. So our goal is to bring them the girl, and wipe away their debt. So on the door of the lighthouse itself, there's a note that said, "Bring us the girl and wipe away the debt." And you'll hear that theme reoccurring throughout the entire run. So it'll be said many, many, many times.
I don't think we'll be able to forget it.
Booker is a little problematic. He has a bit of had a bit of a drinking and gambling problem. So in order to wipe away his debt, he is gonna go grab Elizabeth from Colombia.
Right, so that's why he's getting into all of this.
So Booker sits down. We're playing as Booker DeWitt, by the way. He sits down in this chair and is surprised that he gets restraints when there's restraints on them, but not judging him here. But we're about to fly up to the city of Columbia. The intro is, very reminiscent to Bioshock 1 in the fact that we get to see the whole city right away. It's very pretty and has some lovely music here.
Yeah.
After we reach all the way to the top. Oh, another thing to mention, we use Riva Tuner throughout the run in order to limit our FPS and also uncap our FPS at various values. So I'll explain that each time I change my FPS and the reasons we do that.
Oh, sure.
But multiple times throughout the run, we have a couple different presets that we want to switch our FPS to, just to make tricks a little bit more consistent, and also make tricks possible. So there's some tricks that you have to have high FPS for, and uncapping our FPS will hopefully get the results that we need.
Is it really easy and quick to toggle back and forth between the FPS values that you want?
Definitely, yeah. I have them bound to various keys, so I have the muscle memory intact
Nice.
of knowing what does what. There's a lot of religious themes in Bioshock Infinite. You can see here we have some religious quotes here. And you'll see once we land, we're going to be reaching a group of people that are going to want us to be baptized in order to enter the city of Columbia. And that'll come into play later and ties into the story overall.
They have strict rules. We have to abide.
Exactly. And here we see the Prophet Comstock of Columbia. That is the father of Elizabeth and who we're going to rescue. So we will see him. He's the main antagonist throughout the game. And he has a lot of loyal followers that will do anything to help him out. So.
Well, I mean, he has good advertising. Look at the picture right there. It's beautiful.
Lots of statues here.
Of course they'll follow him. Yes, look at this place. Beautiful.
We have Lady Comstock over there on the left, which is
Milady.
Comstock's lady. And we're doing a little bit of jumping in here just to move a little bit faster. In these walking sections, we'll be jumping a lot in order to just save a little bit of time.
Is it someone new?
Sure, there was a question that did come in from chat about the Sugar Rush. Do you get it still in the run, and do you still use it?
Yeah, great question. We get Sugar Rush and we get Fleet Feet. So those are gears that we get as part of a DLC, and we'll get that at the Blue Ribbon Cafe coming up pretty shortly here. Those gears are really important for the run. So the Sugar Rush gives us a 50% speed boost when we pick up either health or salt items. Salt is the equivalent to Eve in Bioshock 1 and 2, if you're familiar. So we'll just be looting a lot, picking up items, different food, all around the speedrun in order to just move around faster. And that actually stacks with our Hill Runner's hat.
Oh
so
my gosh.
we'll be zipped around.
So you really just get it. You really just get it and go. That's amazing. Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
We get a little bit of flashback here of, I guess, what's to come.
Don't look into the future. It's not a good idea.
Got some statues here, some familiar faces. And here's where we really get started. So our first trick is coming up here after we open this door. We're going to jump around an invisible wall in order to get to this rising platform a little bit earlier. So the cue that we use for this is the 4th note on this instrument here. Jump and land right here, and we skipped a little bit,
Nice.
so you can see the platform is still rising up. We would be a few seconds behind if we did not get that, so not a huge deal, but coming up here, I'm going to uncap my FPS because we want as many frames as possible, and we're going to do a trick known as the parade slip clip. So we're going to position ourselves pretty precisely here, and if we do right, I'm just holding right. Holding right here, and we should be able to get through. Yes. Okay. So high FPS is going to allow us to slip right through that invisible wall and allow us to walk over. So the bridge collision is already there, so we can just walk in the air over to the other side.
Booker doesn't want to participate in the fun.
Does not enjoy parades.
He's a downer. No time.
Gotta get the girl, no time.
Telegram for you, sir.
So this note here, they're telling us not to pick number 77. We're actually going to miss that part, but that scene is where we get caught and exposed. So Father Comstock prophetized a false shepherd coming in and wreaking havoc, and the sign for that is an AD written on the hand, which Booker has. So when they pick 77, kind of get exposed there. But I just slipped through again, similar to the parade clip, slipped through that collision and made our way out of bounds and jumped through to this side where it loaded in this area. Normally we would have a lot of introduction to the Test Twins, and we'd have, we get Devil Kiss and get our Skyhook, but we just skip right through that. Luckily we can get Devil's Kiss in a little bit. We also receive our Skyhook just for getting past that point. So we still have it.
Oh, good.
The run, I don't know what we would do if we didn't get it. Probably.
That's what I was going to say.
This is some DLC infusions that we're getting. I grabbed Salt because it'll help us with the fights later. And we also don't want shield or health because we'll be doing a lot of death warps throughout the run. And that'll just make everything slower. So right there, I picked up Sugar Rush and Fleet Feet. You can see here I'm using Sugar Rush to pick up those items and get a speed boost. So that's where you grab those DLC gears that we were talking about earlier, and that one of the nice people in chat asked about Sugar Rush. So that's where you grab it. We grab Devil Kiss right here, which is our first Vigor. Vigors are very similar to Plasmids from the rest of the Bioshock series. So this one's kind of just a flame trap. Fireball, we'll use it here in a second. That's what it looks like. You'll see me looting trash cans. There's a hot dog up here. Yummy. So let us get some speed. And you may also notice that at the end of my speed, boost, whenever I get a large amount of speed, I'll jump. The reason I do that is your momentum stays the same until you hit the ground. So if I jump in the air last second before the speed boost runs out, I'll be able to extend that a little bit further.
We have a little bit of time to breathe now in the elevator. I'm kind of curious, Coach. Could you maybe tell me what got you interested in Bioshock speedrunning?
Yeah, so Bioshock 1 really intrigued me. It was always one of my favorite games. real quick, I'll talk about that in a second, but
Yeah, sure. We can come back.
We're inviting.
Oh no.
Unfortunate death there for that poor man. But this is our first crow enemy that we run into. Just gonna put some of this fire trap down in a specific spot. Oh. Messed up there a little bit. It's okay. There we go. So
What's this?
kill that enemy there, and that crow enemy actually drops a plasma that we're gonna pick up later, or a vigor. And since that's the first time that we encountered that vigor, if we picked it up there, we would get a little bit of an animation. They look really cool, so it's unfortunate that they take a long time. But the next time that we run into that vigor, we'll be able to pick it up without that animation. So in order to save a little bit of time, we're gonna opt not to take it right now.
Okay.
You'll also notice that I flick my mouse and flick my aim where I'm looking when I go to jump on something or off something. The reason I do that is because the camera locks. I'm gonna focus real quick here. Nice. Okay. I'll explain that in 1 second.
You gotta catch the skyboat.
So excellent, we got that trick. That is. I'm gonna restart checkpoint real quick. Okay, so the reason I flick my mouse like I do when I am jumping to a skyhook or a skyline is to prevent myself from locking in place. So there's a little bit of an animation where you get locked in place and you can't really look around or jump off of it. But if I flick my camera, it kind of mitigates that so that I can immediately look and jump off the skyline to something else if needed. So it just helps make everything a little bit faster. Now that trick that I just did, it has pretty specific timing. You have to jump on in front of that little cargo boot, the little cargo shipping container, at the same time that you're landing. So, and that boosts us over and lets us skip a little bit of traversal that we do. It also allows us to walk through this bar right here a little bit earlier. So you'll see here, we're usually supposed to wait until our nose bleeds until we can walk through here, but we can just walk through in a second.
It always does with you, doesn't it? It always is.
We're gonna jump to trigger this. And this you can also get another skip here. Okay, that's okay. I need a little bit more ammo here. Unfortunate. Our ammo is a little bit short today, but
it's one of those oddly satisfying things to watch.
So if you place the Devil's Kiss trap down in a precise way, and it does take a little bit of luck too, you can actually skip those fights with those 4 enemies and go right to the door. That's what I tried to do originally, but did not get it, so I went to clean up those enemies in order to access that door. Now, that was Comstock that we just saw. Pretty mad that we're here.
Yeah, where'd he go?
He set our airship on fire trying to kill us, but we escaped just in time.
Rude.
Yeah.
Booker doesn't care. He's on his way.
Booker is too fast for that nonsense.
I'll say with all the candy, salt, and sugar as well.
Alright, so we are at Monument Tower, and this is where Elizabeth is. We'll meet her pretty shortly here, and we're actually going to be showcasing not a brand new skip, relatively new skip that is only possible with high FPS. And this is the first time it's going to be shown on a GDQ stream, so that's pretty exciting.
Let's go.
We'll have a couple like that, so coming up here, this is where we're supposed to meet Elizabeth. the intended path is to go pull a lever, and you can see that Elizabeth is behind this mirror or window, and she doesn't know that we're there, so we know that people are watching her. It's a little weird, but instead of getting that introduction, we're going to skip that completely. I'm going to slip clip into this railing. We're going to slide our way over, and then we're going to clip up here, and then get on top of that railing. So now we're in the top of the ceiling, and we're going to hug the wall here, and fall down to do another slip clip, jump up again, switch my FPS, and I'm going to hug the wall again so that we stay up. And now if we... Excellent. First try, that's really good. It is a really tricky when you're first getting started with the run, but that was excellent. Can't complain there.
Now, how fresh is it?
I'm honestly not sure. I only started running this game like 3 or 4 months ago, so I don't have a whole lot of...
new.
Yeah. I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on the early days of those runs, but...
no worries.
It has changed a lot. I do know some of the old strats, and there are some really tough ones, so I'm glad.
Oh yeah, with a game like this.
It's essentially... it was probably found maybe a year or so ago, I think. I'd say maybe a year or two around that time. It's they kind of had to wait until PC technology got better so that we can get higher FPS. You need around...
Is that your final answer? Elizabeth is
Oh,
upset.
yeah. Elizabeth is very confused. Never seen a person before. So she's been locked in this tower her whole life.
That would be so freaky.
And she has a protector called Songbird, who's pretty mad and will be pretty mad once we let Elizabeth escape. This key that we have here, that was given to us by the test twins in that box that we got in the beginning of the game. So they gave us the key to help Elizabeth escape. And we're gonna start a little
This is huge.
chase sequence here with Songbird. He's not gonna be too happy with us taking Elizabeth. The Songbird is pretty similar in concept to the Big Daddy. So Elizabeth is the little sister to the Songbird and Big Daddy. So Songbird tries to protect Elizabeth at all costs, and we'll constantly be on our tail trying to get Elizabeth back to this tower.
Songbird is the Big Daddy with wings.
So throughout that section, I was jumping right before the Songbird knocked into the tower. That's just because we get a slow stagger animation that we can avoid if we jump at the right time. Now I'm going to do a similar trick to what we did originally in the beginning of this level. Do another slip clip to get ourselves up in the air. And this trick again requires pretty high FPS. So we're going to back up and jump here, and jump again, and first try again. Excellent.
Nice. Is it unsettling with Songbird just screaming at you while you do this?
And it does not stop at any certain time. So you know, if you're struggling a bit, you're just gonna constantly get the screen shakes and the screams.
Oh my
we're gonna get a
gosh.
checkpoint here.
This is the this is the power of Gulch.
We're gonna get a checkpoint here, and we're gonna reset, and that's gonna help us move faster up this area so that we can actually beat Elizabeth at the top. So we'll be waiting on her to get this cutscene started. And we officially made it off of Monument Tower. So Elizabeth is, for the first time, out and about and free.
She must be freaking
Yeah,
out
there's a lot
right now.
going on for your first day out.
There's so much going on.
You can see the Songbird knocking into stuff, chasing us down.
Oh my gosh.
Also, this is known as the Bonk Bonk song for the Bioshock community. So everyone loves the song. It is Great.
I'm really surprised not to hear Elizabeth screaming.
Yeah, especially 1,000 feet up in the air, or however much, just gliding around in the air by one person's hand. I don't know how it's done, but
I mean,
they make it work.
She's too scared.
The songbird here, he's trying to grab us, but doesn't do too well with the water pressure, so he's gonna go back to the surface. We look pretty far underwater, so I don't know how Booker survives this. But there's many points in this run where you're like, I think he probably should have died there. We get another flashback here. You can see some alcohol bottles, and on the desk there's some racehorse tickets, just indicating of his drinking and gambling debt. And you can see there, bring us the girl, wipe away the debt. A very common reoccurring theme in this run, and you'll hear that throughout. Since we play on low settings, Elizabeth kind of freezes here. It's a little uncanny. And then she just reappears back.
Screenshot.
But actually, this is Battleship Bay. We're going to be showing off another new trick here. We're going to be getting on this booth here on the beach and doing a super jump. In order to perform that, we're going to be crouching under a barrier above our head, and we're going to be spamming jump, moving left and right, and hopefully that will propel us in the air and allow us to skip a little bit of Battleship Bay. So usually we would go over and see Elizabeth dancing, and then we'd take her over and we'd get to pick the cage or the bird necklace from the Blue Test Twins, but we're actually going to be skipping that entirely here. So this trick also requires high FPS, so I'm going to uncap my FPS. We're just leaving here to get some health, but we didn't get any. That's okay. So we're going to climb up this, crouch under here, and spam jump. This is a huge run killer in the run. It's very RNG heavy. Not super consistent, but we'll get it done here.
They're not happy with you jumping on the business after hours.
So
they're trying to close down the shop in their goal. What are you doing?
Just on the top of it, causing some... Oh, almost got up there. You can kind of see us getting some air sometimes. Almost.
It's not rain, it's gulch.
There we go. Excellent.
Hey,
pretty good.
Hey, nice.
So over here, we're going to do a bit of wall climbing action. You can just spam spacebar against this wall and we'll be climbing up. Do some out of bounds here. And this is where we grab Hillrunner's hat. So right here, that's where we grab that from. And we're going to run back over here to... Oh, let's... On over with us. Ooh.
There's a venue.
Start there.
Now, since you just picked up the hat, I'm curious, do you use the hat mod in all gears or just any percent?
I think they... Oh. For some reason my prompt went away. Sorry, there we go.
Yeah, no worries.
So we used that, we saved that coin catching prompt in order to teleport Elizabeth over to here. If we didn't do that, she would just take her time and walk over here. But 90% is the only category I run. I believe some people go for Hillrunner's hat in glitchless and other categories, but it all depends. It can definitely lose you some time just through RNG alone, so...
Sure, that was one from the chat, so thanks for answering.
To the First Lady airship.
So we're trying to get some tickets to the First Lady's airship and to Columbia. We're trying to go to New York Elizabeth thinks we're going to Paris, but
I'll ring you back once it matters.
kind of lying to her a bit.
Yes.
They caught on to us, so I'm gonna grab the shotgun here, shoot these two people, and then shoot these two. Elizabeth's gonna run away because, you know, her first day out, and we've already murdered a bunch of people. So that's not super cool. They're obviously very terrified.
No. Very terrifying.
So here you'll see the first instance of Hill Runner's hat, maybe a combination with Sugar Rush. So here we'll loot these bodies. See, we are zooming. And I jumped the tail end of that boost in order to preserve that momentum that we had.
Very stylish.
You killed those people.
Elizabeth,
You're a monster.
what did you think was gonna happen?
What?
Do you understand the expense people went through to keep you locked up in that tower? You think people like that are just gonna let you walk away? You are an investment, and you will not be safe until you are far away from here.
So Elizabeth
What do they want from
learns to be okay with the
One thing I've learned.
all the murdering that we're doing throughout this game. So she's a little off-put at once, but she is our companion for the game. Kind of similar to like Ashley in Resident Evil, except she, you know, mostly is very nice to us and just gives us ammo, health, salts. Also allows us to open tears to grab different things like health or spawn in some hooks or different things like that. We missed the part in Battleship or in Monument Tower when we see her using the tear. So I just want to make note of that. She can open tears, which are
Oh, yeah, thank you.
little dimensions into other areas. But here we have another skip coming up. So I'm going to switch to 30 FPS to make this a little bit more consistent. We're going to use Sugar Rush to grab this bottle. I'm going to try to crouch under this barrier before it closes. And we skip a little part where we have to open that door manually, skip some animations, so that was great. Got that first try.
Nice. Nicely done.
Just stay close.
We're going to do a little bit of out of bounds here. Similar to what we did in Battleship Way with the wall climbing, there's a spot over here that we can do that as well. So there's an invisible wall that we're going to jump around,
Never smoked one
and we're
before.
going to climb up the wall here.
I imagine they were interested in meeting you.
This looks so funny.
Lessons. I never even heard of this place before I got here.
So we'll get to the top of the collision eventually.
Guess I got
There we
it
go.
behind.
The sticky shoes worked. There you go.
And make our way out of bounds here. This part can be a little tricky because it's easy to fall in the wrong place, but let's try to line this up here. I'm gonna run out of bounds here. Excellent. And we fall through the map, skipping a little elevator. That was good. And now we have a fight here. It's pretty choreographed, so we can do the same thing here. I'm gonna shoot those guys, put a trap down, grab this Eve, kill that guy, and get a speed boost from the fire. Kill this guy here. I triggered the crow spawn a little early, but get him. Excellent. And the last person should fall down right now, which you just did, onto the fire trap that we placed earlier. And hold this lever to move these. Great. Now, here's where we get the Murder of Crows Vigor. And we're going to be looting.
Mr. DeWitt?
Oh.
Take some scrounging, but I'll do my best.
The coin is the worst thing that we can get Elizabeth. Not super useful, but we're going to be looting to get some RPG ammo, because we're going to pick up the RPG here and be able to take full advantage of Hilrona's hat. We're going to be doing a lot of death warps in this next area called Hall of Heroes. In Bioshock Infinite, similar to Bioshock 1 and 2, you can only carry one weapon, or two weapons at the same time. And we just swapped out our machine gun for the RPG. So I'm going to damage myself here to get us to the proper health that we need. Restart checkpoint for consistency. I'm going to reload here, and we're going to use Hillrunner's hat to boost Death Warp us through this door. And if that was far enough, we should be able to just walk through the door. We're gonna spawn right before it again. And yep, we got it. Excellent.
Nice. Sometimes that can be a little tricky,
Yeah,
no?
this is one of the hardest sections of the game. We have
Let's go. Let's
another
go.
death warp coming up here. And we want to make it just slightly past the that door. If we go too far, it'll be soft locked and we can't progress. But we did it perfectly there. And I entered that bush over there in order to trigger those enemies. What that does is they open the door over behind them in that general direction. And that's going to allow us to exit the level when we need to. Now I'm going to damage myself in order to get a speed boost. We want to beat Elizabeth to this door because she can close this on us. But we're going to put ourselves here, do another death warp, and that was perfect. We saw the banner collect shock jockey from the plate, so that's how we know that we did the trick correctly.
What just happened?
Very nice.
And we're gonna hit a trigger here that's gonna spawn Slate in. Oh. Elizabeth is in the way, so it didn't let me shoot there. Here we have Slate. We missed the whole area was introduced. Hall of Heroes is a big fight between Slate and his army. He's gonna ask us to either kill him or spare him. We're gonna spare him because we're feeling nice today. Done enough damage as it is so far. And here's where we pick up Shock Jockey. So in Soldier Field 1, there is a tram that we need to take to the First Lady airship, and in order to activate that, we need Shock Jockey. So that is why we came all the way to Hall of Heroes, and we're going to start backtracking our way back to Soldier's Field in order to make our way to the First Lady airship.
Gotta get the goods and get out of there.
So that Devil's Kiss trap that we put down earlier killed those enemies. Just going to be trying to loot and get some speed boosts here. Not lucky with the health drop there, but okay. And that is Hall of Heroes. So those levels are the hardest ones, and I did that all. Beginning of the game is probably the hardest. We set heavy, so that all went pretty well. I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, and let me remind you all again, Gulch is fairly new to Bioshock speedrunning, so this is pretty impressive.
Yeah, at least Bioshock Infinite. I speedrun all the Bioshock games, failed to mention that earlier. I also speedrun all the Bioshock DLCs. I've recently done anthology and trilogy runs, so if you're into Bioshock content, I recommend
Nice,
it.
yeah. I know you were speedrunning the other Bioshock games, so this is the fresh one for you. Okay.
So we're gonna do a little boosting here. Ourselves around. We passed by this the first time around, and that's Bucking Bronco. Just useful to have. So we're gonna grab that. It's gonna help us a lot with the fights. I'm gonna restart checkpoint here because when we activate this elevator, it's gonna allow us to exit the elevator really early. So we can just run through the door there.
I think I understand how you do what you do. Spectators.
And we have a little bit of a fight sequence here. So we're going to shock this so we can power up this gondola over here and make our way to the First Lady airships. So we have some waves of enemies that we're going to fight. I'm going to set up traps in a pretty specific area. We set these ones far apart so that they don't set off each other. If I put this one a little bit closer, it'll blow up this one, but we'll need to 2 instances of those up in order to kill a couple enemies. But for now, I'm just going to loot around. Store open. There we go. We have a little bit of time to kill, so might as well loot for some health.
Now, are all of the placements of your traps like pretty specific, or can it be a little bit random where the enemies end up?
It's pretty specific for the fights. Yeah, all the setups and fights are pretty choreographed, so you'll want to put them in a similar area.
Right on.
So we just took out this wave here. We have some RPG guys that we're going to actually not kill. We're going to hit them with the Murder of Crows, jump back over here, and we're going to hit them again. So what that's gonna do is kind of save them for later. So they're gonna stay there. They're not gonna be shooting at us or anything. Sometimes they can fire some, but it looks like they're being pretty kind today. But we're gonna leave them there so that when that airship will make its way around here and allow us to do a skip and save a little bit of time if we're lucky. So if we kill them and they have either food or some salt, that'll give us that sugar rush speed boost. We'll be able to combine that with HRH to get on the gondola that's coming down here a little bit faster. We can also do it with regular HRH, but if we get the Sugar Rush speed boost along with the HRH speed boost, it'll allow us to get a little bit more distance and get there earlier. So we have 2 enemies going on that side. Now the ship will come around, and we'll have a little bit more waves of enemies here.
All their little battle cries.
They're very talkative. They have some really funny lines.
They crack me up coming down the little ledge like you're playing whack-a-mole or something.
And sometimes you can see them just jumping in the air, just flying so high. I'm like, how are you guys doing this?
Oh, such dreams. Only to be dashed.
Oh. Alright, so now we see... Okay, we got an apple health, so we're going to try to land over there earlier than intended. You usually have to wait for it to come all the way here, but... let's grab this.
Apples away.
Oh. Unfortunately out of these. Fine. But it's going to take a... So now we can ask Lois to help us out and get here a little bit earlier.
It's done.
Nicely done.
We're also going to be setting up for a death warp here, so I'm going to myself around. There's iframes in this game, so you can see I'm at 1 HP and I shot myself again. That's just to ensure that I'm at the lowest health possible, so that the next time that I shoot, it'll actually kill me. So, similar to the Bioshock 1 and 2, the series, you have iframes, where once you get down to 1 HP, there's 3 or 4 seconds where you can't die, no matter how many things shoot you. But after that point...
That's generous.
Yeah, very nice.
Amount of time for iframes, wow.
So we try to get ourselves down to 1 when we're preparing for death warps and such. And we just killed ourselves early there to prevent having to wait a little bit longer. So, making our way to the First Lady airship.
For sure.
Call you the false shepherd.
About to enter.
The lamb
Let's not call each other that.
suits me.
And I'm going to do a little bit more rushing.
Either they've got a profit on their side, or them that hired me also wrote
Alright,
the
excellent.
signs.
Now, at this point, Elizabeth thinks that we're going to
I
Paris,
want to see you.
as you see here.
It's up to you.
Oh,
Booker's
yeah.
going to put in coordinates to
Someone
New York.
else's dreams dash.
40 north by 70
Oh,
west. That's not Paris, that's New
she
York.
picks up on it very quickly,
One
though.
thing I had in that tower was time, Mr. DeWitt. Time to study things like geography.
I owed money, and there's a fellow who he offered to wipe away my debt in exchange for you.
So she's going to
Come on.
fake cry here in order to catch us off guard and whack us in the head with a wrench. Knock us out.
Ooh, brutal.
And Elizabeth is going to attempt to steer the ship, get to Paris on her own. It's not going to go too well. We're going to be caught by the Vox Populi, which is a revolutionary group in Colombia against Comstock.
You gotta admire her dedication for trying, at least.
So here you can see, she sees them coming, she leaves us. Now when we wake up, we're surrounded by some of the Vox Populi, and we'll be met with Daisy Fitzroy, who's the leader of the Vox Populi.
friendly introductions.
Get our first introduction to a handyman here. It's very similar to the big daddies in the Bioshock series in terms of enemies. They're just really huge bullet sponges. We'll see. We'll get to fight one pretty soon here, but only once the other run. So
You Fitzroy?
We'll be sure to savor it.
I got no quarrel with you or your Vox Populi. This is my airship you're hanging me out of, and I got perilous need of it.
Really? Cause it sure look like old Comstock's airship to
Listen,
me.
I ain't looking for a fight.
There's already a fight, DeWitt. Only question is, which side you on? Comstock is the god of the white man, the rich man, the pitiless man. But if you believe in common folk, then join the Vox. If you believe in the righteous folk, then join
I just
the Vox.
want my ship.
And the Vox shall give her to you. But first, you must help
Now,
the Vox.
remind me, is Daisy sort of co-leading the Vox, or is she just a very strong
yeah,
member?
she's the leader of the Vox Populi.
Oh, okay, so she's leading the show, the
Yeah.
whole thing. Right on.
We kind of missed this. We missed this part of the story, but she was a servant to Comstock, and she was framed for Lady Comstock's murder. So,
Oh my goodness.
she sets up the Vox Populi in order to, stand up against Comstock. It's a pretty not a great place. It's in 1912. They're a bit problematic, to say the least.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So we're going to be doing a small skip here. We're going to climb up this pole and jump on this, and we're going to boost ourselves. Oh, just messed up the jump there. No problem. Just reset. Oh. There, restart one more time. Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're fine.
Keep on. Okay, so we're gonna damage ourselves. Jump around here. So that just skips that door and skips a little bit of a sequence with having to duck under some obstacles and such. We're gonna make our way through here. And if we turn sideways through this, we actually move fast through that.
Oh whoa.
And we're gonna do a bit of a death warp there in order to get our health and ammo back. We're gonna be having a fight here pretty soon. For some reason, I always miss an invisible trigger, so these enemies are just standing still for some reason. There's a trigger that makes them move, and for some reason I always miss it, which makes the fight pretty easy.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say that's not really a bad thing though, but you're just not sure how you're accomplishing that. Oh, interesting. That is kind of strange.
So we want to kill...
More dissection required.
Yeah. So we're gonna kill all these enemies, but specifically this one for the volley gun. So this is a multi-fire RPG that we're gonna be using to damage ourselves a lot through the run. It's incredibly helpful. Later on, when we upgrade it to its fullest, or level 2, with the damage, we'll be able to take our shields down in one shot, which will be really helpful for, navigating around the map, and also with death warps, just damaging ourselves faster. So it's our go-to weapon for most things at this point in the run moving forward, but we do still use the RPG for various strats and death warps. The RPG does more damage with a single shot, so it's a lot more helpful for the death warps that we'll be doing, but the volley gun is good for using the hill runner's hat and just running around super fast. So we almost just fell to our death there, but Elizabeth opened up a tear, spawned this little blimp, and saved us. But she's still not too happy with us.
She cares.
Yeah.
She cares a little in her own way.
Elizabeth, I made an arrangement to get our airship back.
You can get us out of here.
Yes, just need to supply enough weapons to arm an entire uprising.
And where will we get these weapons? From one of our many friends and allies?
A gunsmith in Finkton should be a walk in the park. What do you say, partners?
So we have to get enough weapons, like Victor said, to supply an entire uprising in order to get the First Lady airship back to leave Columbia. We're actually going to be skipping that quest line, but I'll explain what happens after that in a minute here. So we're going to grab damage boost 1 from the volley gun, and jump over here, grab all assaults, and then some volley gun ammo. And we're going to switch our RPG here to kill some enemies, do some guards over here. It looks like we got them. I'm going to ask Elizabeth to unlock this and set up some traps for some enemies that are going to spawn up here when I start this fight down below. So I'm going to throw a fire trap there, electrocute this Patriot, that guy, and there we go. So we have to kill all enemies in order to hit that elevator, and we did that pretty well. And we're going to prepare for a death warp here. We can skip waiting for the elevator if we death warp in the middle of Elizabeth's speech here. So when we make our way down to the bottom here, we're going to set up for a trick. We're going to clip through the back of the elevator. That can happen sometimes. So right there I didn't have iframes, and I believe it's because my shield went down multiple times throughout that fight. I'll have them now, but that can just happen.
Right.
So I'm going to make my way down to this elevator. I'm going to do a death warp through it. And that's going to spawn us right below the elevator. So the elevator is up here. And we're going to do a trick to skip a lot of this run here. So jump and another edge here. Excellent. So we clipping away out of bounds and going through here. And that skips the entire quest line of going and getting the guns, and a lot of things are explained that I'll explain here in a minute. But
sure.
Very high intense run, lots going on. So I'm gonna again, get through here. That gate is locked, but and we can't unlock it because of the skip that we just did. But we're able to just death warp right through it. Sometimes, depending on the way you die, Elizabeth will respawn you somewhere, or you'll just respawn by yourself over there in certain areas. So it all depends. But in that case, we were able to just death warp on the other side of the barrier here and get past that level. So that was excellent. We skipped a lot of the story there. There's a quest line, and Elizabeth will talk about it here. She's kind of reflecting on what happened. She'll talk about people that we've never met and don't know. But essentially, we discovered that the Lutesses can also make tears, and also that we can time hop into different timelines. So right now we're in a different timeline than we were when the game started. So in this timeline that we're currently in, we actually joined the Vox Populi and were a martyr for the cause. So we died, you know, fighting off Comstock's army. Elizabeth.
And have awoken a better man, I guess.
And we'll get a call here from Daisy, and she's going to be really confused. So I wanted to explain that briefly. She is not going to believe that we're alive and believe that we are a fake. So since she doesn't believe we're the real Booker,
she might be spooked.
Yeah, she's going to send her army after us.
Oh, shit.
Fitzroy. Listen, I got you your guns. I'm here for my airship.
But my Booker DeWitt died for the Vox Populi. You either an imposter or a ghost. My Booker DeWitt was a hero to the cause, a story to tell your children. You just complicate the narrative.
Booker's a ghost.
Here we're gonna kill some enemies and reload a checkpoint. Reloading this checkpoint here is just gonna allow us to interact with this lock faster. Ask Elizabeth to unlock that. Here, Undertow is on the ground right there. That's another plasmid that is super nice. We're actually not gonna pick it up though because since it's our first time running into it, it will have a lengthy animation, so we'll pick it up. We're gonna actually buy it later. We're setting up for a fight here against the Vox Populi, and I'm setting up some traps up here for some enemies later. Going to jump on the ship here, take out this fireman. We'd be introduced them in the first level of the game, but since we skipped that, we don't get to see them.
Who's gonna put out the fire of the fireman? Oh no.
Like, maybe they're too high up.
Fair,
there's no oxygen for that. I don't know how it works. So we're going to stand here so all the enemies come to us. And we're going to encounter a handyman for the first time. So I'm going to be... Okay, I'm going to take this ammo here. I'm going to need to take this Eve. And we're just going to unload on this handyman. Excellent. Kill some enemies here. That fight can be pretty scary because if you don't crow the handyman, he can sometimes throw enemies into an area where you can't... still someone up. Oh, no, we're good. He can sometimes throw enemies into an area where you can't kill them, so you kind of just get soft blocked a bit. But that went pretty well.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, it looked very scary, so I'm glad that you've confirmed it.
So Fitzroy is threatening to kill this child, and so we're going to boost Elizabeth up to stop her, and we're going to distract her a bit by knocking on this window.
Is this it?
Well,
Is this your movement,
we're talking to
Daisy?
Daisy. We're just going to go loot around, grab some things.
To be done. See, the founders ain't nothing but weeds.
Alright, excellent. And unfortunately, Elizabeth takes her out, so she is understandably pretty traumatized by that. You can also stand into her and see.
Oh my gosh. She's traumatized, and we're also traumatized.
Hey, easy.
So Elizabeth is scared off. That's pretty terrifying. So she's gonna make her way to the First Lady.
Now, is the First Lady in reference to Comstock's wife? Okay, just curious.
Yes. Yep. It's yeah, I think his wife's airship.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering about the airship
former,
things.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a whole section that I'll acknowledge when we come to it, but this is supposed to be a long fight with Lady Comstock, or the ghost of Lady Comstock, but we're gonna skip that entire section. So we never get to meet Lady Comstock.
We just get to gossip about her is all.
This is all they had.
So now Elizabeth comes out, a new woman. She cut her hair, changed her clothes.
Looks good.
How do you wash
yeah.
away the things that you've done?
You don't. You just learn to live with it.
So obviously she's pretty upset that she just had to murder someone, but
or Paris.
we finally get the First Lady airship after all that quest line. Surely nothing bad will happen.
Oh no.
We gotta find a way to make this thing go faster.
So we were trying to just leave the Paris, right, or Paris, New York, wherever, right then and there.
Help me find it.
But the Songbird had other plans. Songbird does not want us to leave with Elizabeth, so they are taking this airship to the ground. So this point in the game is, I'd say, like the middle marker. This is where we turn into the later half of the game. Reintroduced to the Lutess twins here.
Gotta stop
no, that's the E.
No, that is certainly it.
So Songbird is activated by a song, hence the name Songbird, and
Here we are.
it requires specific notes to be played with specific instruments. So Elizabeth is freaking out, thinking that they just triggered
The
Songbird, but
instrument was not.
the instrument
One
was
needs
not right.
both to get his attention.
But if you
Oh,
know how to
that's good.
sing to him,
He will take you where you need to go.
So they gave us a little hint here
we
about
are.
how do you
where we are needed.
call the Songbird.
Needed where we are.
So Comstock uses these songs. Well, are there others we can use? Something to keep the bird off our back?
Perhaps you should ask the maestro himself.
So where is he?
And
Of
they just
course.
mysteriously disappear.
Well, at least they
Oh,
left the
okay.
piano.
Hello and goodbye. It's like, they left their piano here. Dang. Like, I gotta move this thing.
Didn't have the courtesy to move
What the
it.
heck?
Yeah. We're gonna do a small skip here. Do a small skip here, jumping over an invisible barrier that would activate a fight. But since we just jumped over that, we can skip
Take a
it.
look at this.
It's definitely the easiest trick in the game.
This
Get
is
new,
the best song.
give it a new and want to mess around with like speedrun strats, you can try that out. It's super easy.
Where's the best place for someone interested in Bioshock Infinite speedrunning to get this information?
Oh, yeah.
On,
Great call out. We actually have a speedrunning Discord, so if you go to the speedrun.com page, you should see it linked there.
okay.
There's people, across all of the games ready to help you out and eager to get new runners intrigued in this game. So, and any of the other Bioshock games. So, we'd love to have you
When I first got here.
if you're interested.
Nice. So everyone's been pretty friendly to you as well, I
Oh
take
yeah,
it.
the community is excellent. When I first started speedrunning to, essentially no one, they were right there, ready to support and help out
Elizabeth?
things. So the speedrun community for Bioshock is excellent. Lots of good
That's
friends
awesome.
there.
Good.
So there's actually a skip that you can do to skip that fight that I just did. It's kind of precise. There's a couple of different ways you can do it as well, but it doesn't save a whole lot of time. And the main benefit to it is that it would open this door here, and you'd be able to exit a little early. But in all my tries of doing it, I haven't really gotten it to work, so it's a bit tricky.
But I don't.
You sure that's right?
Something tells me they're not exactly.
Just hard to know what to look for in the situation, I guess.
Yeah,
No.
and I love this here.
That's not
He's
subjunctive.
painting himself.
Had to have been.
Yeah, the trick itself is pretty precise, and if you mess it up, it's not a huge deal. You can just continue with the fight, but
Exactly.
It would be odder if we didn't.
it's a bit tricky. and
Always
confusing.
gotta skip if possible.
Yeah, and I would have to reroute the way I buy things in this game if I need to do that. Just I usually buy it a little later, so maybe I'll implement that eventually.
Yeah, we did have a question come in earlier on the subject of those food spawns. How big of a role would you say that the spawns play in the run?
It's not a huge deal here. I'm buying Charge, Undertow, and Undertow Aid. Undertow Aid is going to help me out with. It's an upgrade to that plasmid, so be a little bit nicer there. Whenever I load my RPG, we're going to form a Death Warp coming up here. Let's see, one more, and make our way over here. I have a little less than ideal amount of, this is not ideal ammo. Okay, get ourselves down to 1 HP here, and we're gonna Death Warp through this gate. Usually you have to be out of combat in order to get Elizabeth to unlock this gate, but if we Death Warp for a brief second there, we can ask her to do it. If we stay hidden, we should be able to open the door.
It's done.
And we have to kill these 2 enemies to progress here.
We won't be able to
And
return.
here we have a little bit of downtime, a little bit of time to catch our breath.
Here.
Yeah,
Fun to
take a
interact
breather.
with
So
this.
what are they doing here? They're both trying to escape.
Yes. So we're just trying to get out of Columbia period right now.
This might be it.
And we're making our way
Why are you so
to
keen on lockpicking and code
You put a person in
we're making our way
cage with
to
your
Comstock's house to
I suppose so.
Pay him a little visit.
find Comstock. Yeah, pay him a little visit.
Yeah. So I had a question. Well, my question is, what are we looking at over there?
That
Yeah.
statue here? Yeah, so that's what calls in the songbird.
Oh.
So you can hear like the little music playing,
Hello, hello.
and now we have songbird coming to make an appearance.
Dramatic.
Yeah, this reminds me of Jurassic Park with those dinosaur scenes in the diner,
Songbird is very clever.
hiding from the Steinberg. Yep. But I apologize. I was in the middle of some tricks there, so I didn't get to explain the sugar rush. But it's
Elizabeth.
it's not a huge deal, not getting them or not. It just saves a little bit of time here and there.
Elizabeth,
So you know,
will
it's
stop
random on the drops that are like on enemies or in
That is
containers.
enough. You cannot
It's random if you get the
Promise
health or
me
not and
that
get
if
the
it
sugar
comes
rush
to it,
boost. But it's always nice if you get it. Definitely
will
not
not
crucial.
let him
Only in that
take
one
me
skip that we showcased a little bit earlier, where I got on the gondola a bit earlier by using Sugar Rush and HRH mod at the same time.
The apple, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
So we're heading to downtown Emporia. So this is where we would be fighting Lady Comstock. But we're going to skip that whole section there. It is pretty lengthy, so it's a good thing we have a skip for it. The first trick that we're going to do here to get past this gate over here. And that's going to save us from fighting all these enemies here. So in order to do that, we're going to make our way to this platform here. We're going to jump on the edge of this pillar and try to run and make our way over this gate. If we aim in, we can kind of, you know, stagger our fall a little bit and make it through that gate. So we're gonna try again, and there we go. So that skips a whole fight sequence. Here we're gonna grab some upgrades. We're gonna get clip size for the volley gun as well as damage boost 2. Damage boost 2 is super nice because we'll be able to break our shields with one shot of the volley gun just by shooting the teeth.
That would be nice.
So that saves us some time in getting ourselves down to move around. So we'll move around a little bit quicker. We're gonna charge at this enemy. And here's coming up a trick where we can skip a lot of the Lady Comstock fight. So I'm gonna line up with this wall here, and high FPS we can actually slip clip, similar to the parade skip or some of the tricks like this we did earlier, right through the wall. And I'm gonna jump here and clip in here so that we can activate this door and go on to the next area.
I love the out of bounds clips. Always look so cool.
And coming up here, we have another trick. So normally, normally we would just run up here and hold that lever at the end of this, and that would start a long cutscene with Songbird. But we don't like cutscenes here, so we're gonna jump on this railing and activate Songbird. So that allows us to skip a very long portion of the cutscene. So there's a little bit of an invisible wall there that we had to navigate around, and there's only a little bit of area that we can walk on that wire. So it's a little bit precise, but got the job done.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm just gonna death warp here in order to get some health and ammo back. And restart checkpoint. Here's the skip that we do. We're gonna skip pretty much all of this level by coming over here, holding our charge, and locking onto this turret at the top. So we just fly up in the air.
Whoa.
And skip having to go through all this section of their name is slipping my mind. It's like something of the silence. Those are enemies with the
6 months.
amplifiers around their ears. We'll see them in a second here, but this is supposed to be like a scary section of the game, the scarier section. So you unfortunately skip it, but
There's the switch.
here we'll see that enemy give us a little jump scare.
Should be able to head downstairs and get to Elizabeth now.
This one right here. So
Oh my god.
we usually
Actually scared me.
so usually there's a whole section there that we would be encountering those enemies, but we skipped that all. So I'm gonna hit this elevator button and restart checkpoint. That's gonna help us ensure that Elizabeth doesn't despawn later in this level here. So that's gonna take us to the bottom of this elevator.
Elizabeth, hold tight!
I'm gonna stand at the top of these stairs here. We wanna walk over there, but we have to wait for the blue test twins to spawn in, or else the game will soft lock. So once they spawn in, we can run over here, have a little chat with them.
What is it? Why do you ask what?
When the delicious question is when.
Lives, lived, will live.
Dies,
They're so proper.
die.
And we get introduced to
As you can see,
an Elizabeth from another timeline. So
lunatics are running the asylum.
this is a much older Elizabeth.
They don't even listen to me anymore.
This is a
All I can
timeline
do
in where
is watch.
Booker does not come to Columbia
Christ
and
set
does
into
not
motion.
save Elizabeth or stop
Slides
Comstock.
into its terminal
So we get to see
stage.
what the future looks
Oh, whoa.
like.
Took all I
if
had
that were to
left
happen.
in me, just to bring you here.
Elizabeth.
So obviously
don't
Elizabeth does
understand.
not want us,
heard
the
you
future to go through
screaming.
that
I
path. Does not
was
want
coming
that
to get
for
Are we?
this
Here.
version of us.
Take my hand.
So she's gonna give us some helpful tips on how to not let this happen.
Yeah, I guess she's seen some things, so she knows.
So here's what New York looks like. Under attack by Comstock. Everything's on fire. It's not looking too great.
Wasn't the torture that broke me. Wasn't the indoctrination. It was time. Time rots everything, Booker. Even hope.
I was coming.
Songbird. He always stops you.
Yes, but I would find a way.
You can actually climb up on Elizabeth here a little bit.
It's too late for me.
I was like, damn, this is a really sad scene. And then just starts climbing up on the side.
Just goofing off, you know, speedrunner things.
Gotta make some situations a little lighter, you know. They're too serious.
Show no
So Elizabeth just gave us a note for
What's it say?
the Elizabeth in our timeline on how not to become her. So
how not to become.
So now we're gonna go save Elizabeth. Songbird took her in the cutscene that we skipped, so we have to go save her. Elizabeth is right there to our right. She's not supposed to be there. She's actually right there, but we do get two Elizabeths for now. I'm gonna charge here and make our way through here. We're gonna pull two levers to release Elizabeth. So the first one is here. Oh. Yeah, so since we did that skip, Elizabeth is still here. Normally you would not have her by your side here, but she can still give us ammo and stuff, so that's super nice.
I think it would have been funny if the devs had made Booker fall over when she threw the gun to him. Like, oh, not expecting that.
Oh, I actually did not want to do that. That's okay. So here, we just have the similar stagger animations as Monument Tower. So we were jumping past those in that level, but this one you can actually fall through the ground if you jump at the wrong time. So we do not want that to happen.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
we're just gonna play it safe and just walk.
Be careful.
But here's Elizabeth, so we freed Elizabeth from that, and we're just gonna disconnect her here. So they're siphoning her energy
You ready?
Just do it.
Here.
through here.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, does not look nice.
No, thank you.
Help me with this.
I think someone meant for you to have this.
What is it?
Just read it.
Your dream of New York happens. It's me.
There is a
She's
a thing that can happen that Elizabeth can disappear during this cutscene and cause us to have like a 40-second time loss. She'll just disappear completely. That's the reason why we restarted checkpoint in the elevator in the level before, in order to prevent that from happening. So it can still happen, but we'll see here in a second if that does.
You forget. I know you.
So, are we unsure as to why this happens?
Yeah, I'm not honestly too sure as to why. I think it has to do with like your timing. If you get there too fast, get to her too fast. So it's another reason why we don't speed boost during that section. But
yeah, classic punishment to the speedrunners.
Going too fast. Alright, so we're going to ask Elizabeth to unlock this, and we're also going to damage ourselves for a death warp that we'll be doing in the next level. So we're going to leave the area here. So we rescued Elizabeth, and now we're going to make our way to Comstock ship in order to stop him so that we don't have a future like Elizabeth just showed us. We do not want a New York on fire overtaken by Comstock, so...
Definitely not.
So we're gonna ask Elizabeth to unlock this here.
Elizabeth. It's the hand of the prophet.
And after she says hand of the prophet, we're gonna be able to hit Death Warp, and that'll just save us some time. It'll open the door immediately, so we don't have to wait for Elizabeth to pick that lock. Now, not getting too lucky. Wow, no food spawn there, but that's okay. So we're going to kill these Patriots here. I'm going to charge to this one. We want to kill these enemies in a specific order in order to make the ship that we'll be taking to Comstock. It will spawn sooner. I want to kill that launcher enemy first, right here. Grab him pretty specifically and bring him over here, and that'll spawn this ship a lot sooner. So that worked out pretty well. We're gonna to grab some of them here and say goodbye.
Bye.
We're gonna dismount and pull this lever and hand of the prophet. So we're gonna make our way to the hand of the prophet. Take this airship over here. We're gonna fight some waves of enemies coming up here pretty soon, but for now we can just take in the city.
Sure is looking rough out there.
Do you think it's possible to redeem the kind of things that we've done?
Redeem? I don't see much use in that.
Okay. Are you afraid of...
No. But I'm afraid of you.
Whoa. Okay, so this we're gonna have to kill some waves of enemies here. It is very consistent, so it usually will all act the same. So we're going to jump on the ship on the left here and just RPG these guys and go right back to our ship. There's gonna be a few waves of them, so we have some mosquitoes over here, these little flying turrets that we'll take down. Grab that salt from Elizabeth, thank you. And we have another gunship on the left here that we're going to jump to. I'm going to use Bucking Bronco. Hit them up in the air.
Yeehaw.
And make our way back to that airship here. So there's still another ship of enemies right here. They're going to be shooting at us, but we just have to wait for them to despawn, so we're just gonna wait here behind some barriers where they can't hit us. You can actually see over here, if you look really closely, you can see the ship that's gonna be spawning in, but we can't do anything now, so if I shot rockets it wouldn't kill any enemies or progress anything, so we just have to wait for it to make its way over here. We're gonna...
I'm like squinting my eyes trying to find the hidden picture. Okay, there it is. Good.
So we're gonna grab some enemies here and push them off the map, and we're probably gonna take out this guy. Excellent. We'll gladly take some ammo. Thank you, Elizabeth. Take out some mosquitoes here. And this is our last wave of enemies. Excellent. Alright, so now we're making our way to Comstock's flagship. We're setting up for a trick here, so I'm going to actually switch my FPS here to around 460, 470. And I'm going to launch myself, grab myself onto here, and can dismount early if you do that. We're going to jump into this. We're going to jump into that little, I don't even know what it is, little launcher thing.
that little thing over there.
And if we land on it in the right area, we'll be flung up into the air. And this just skips a lot of fights within the ship itself here. We're also going to climb up this by just spamming jump and get on top of this little ledge here. And make our way through this level. So that skips a lot of the fights in that level, and we can just go right to the next area here.
One more deck. Let me take care
Nicely done. I remember that section being really intense with enemies.
Yeah, there's a lot of enemies. I think there's actually a lot of, not much you can do in terms of time-saving glitches there, because it's just on a timer, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
But we're making our way over here, up to Comstock, to finally confront him and stop him for good.
Elizabeth, lead the way.
So here we are. This is Elizabeth's tower.
This is my tower.
You can see here some experimenting going on. They're siphoning their Elizabeth's powers. You can see Elizabeth is up there.
It ain't right.
Like the little drawing.
There was a smaller one.
Aw.
And we're actually going to damage ourselves here before I forget for a death warp later. So down to 1 HP.
To anywhere I wanted to go. And the tower.
Yes, I'll be right with you.
And here we finally get to meet Comstock face to face.
Stand back. I'm ending this.
The showdown. I'm ready
Showdown
for it.
of the century.
It's between me and him.
Yes, let's go.
I need to do this.
Come here, child. Oh, come on. I don't bite. My, oh my, how you have grown.
Tell me.
So I'll let this play out.
Yeah.
Look at you, child. You're a mess.
Let go of her.
Elizabeth, everything I've done to keep you safe.
Safe from what?
Seed of the prophet shall sit the throne and drown in flame the mountains of man. But the archangel revealed something else. Beware, prophet. Beware the false shepherd Booker DeWitt, for he shall be as a wall between her and destiny.
Why?
DeWitt, I'm a fool. I've sent mighty armies to stop you. I've rained fire on you from above. I did all of that to keep you from her, when all I needed was to tell her the truth. Ask him, child. Ask him what happened to your finger. Ask DeWitt.
She's your daughter, you son of a bitch, and you abandoned her. Was it worth it? Huh? Did you get what you wanted?
Booker.
Tell me.
Booker.
Tell me.
It is finished.
Nothing.
So, yep, Booker gets mad, kills Comstock.
Booker, stop it!
Pretty easy boss fight, I'd say.
Oh no.
What did he mean?
R.I.P.
So,
You tell me, what
yeah,
did he mean?
he asked he told Elizabeth to ask DeWitt about your finger.
I
So,
just assumed you were born with it. I
find
don't
more
know.
context about that
He
soon.
knows.
Yes, we will.
I forgot to explain the nose bleeding because we skipped that section, but I believe it's something about past memories being remembered.
Memory overload, something like that.
So,
What is she trying to tell us?
yeah, whenever they're like remembering something from another timeline, his nose bleeds. It's all confusing. The time hopping, I feel like you need a 3 different college degrees to understand this game sometimes. But
did you play through the game a few times casually first?
Yeah. So I originally got this game when it came out. I've been a Bioshock fan for a pretty long time. So I can definitely tell you with confidence I did not understand the story then. And it took a little bit of work to understand it today, so it can be pretty confusing, and I think a lot of people resonate with that as well. But here we have, we finally figured out that the cage on the note Elizabeth gave us, the past Elizabeth, was indicating that cage was a song, so there were different notes, and we used the instrument we got from these guys to call him the songbird and make her a bit friendly.
Do this for me, just this one last thing.
So Songbird's going to be on our side now, huh?
So this is the final fight of the game, and we're going to have Songbird with us to help us out here. This fight is really cool. It's very choreographed. I'll try to explain what's going on, but there's going to be a lot going on, so we'll do our best here.
All right, good luck.
I'm going to use Murder of Crows twice on these enemies here. Takes them out, and still be some left, but and grab these guys that remain, kill them. I'm going to use Songbird to, let's rip this ammo first. I'm going to use Songbird to take out this ship, and we're going to take out the enemies here. One more enemy, actually missed one. Alright, excellent. I'm going to go over to this side to kill this gunship.
Much obliged.
And we have some enemies spawning over here that we'll grab. And another same pair over on the other side. So we'll grab those guys. And this last one here. And now we're going to set up for some future waves by putting down these double kiss traps. Done a few of them. That'll just help us later, kill some enemies. Songbird's about to be ready soon, so we're going to use him to take out the Zeppelin. And there we go. And going to be another minigun ship coming up here.
Over there, the box.
We need this thing to make it.
We're going to grab these guys and up these Patriots. We're going to grab this crank gun here. That's going to help us take out some turrets in a second. Just checking here to see if we killed everyone, but it looks like it did. It did. So now we're just waiting for those other ships to spawn. No, it spawned.
Now remind me, do you control Songbird?
Yes. I press F to indicate where I want the Songbird to go or where I want to attack. So you can make them attack like the ground to the ship, but we mainly have them take out these box ships because we actually have to go onto them and into them in order to take them out. But if we have Songbird destroy them, we don't have to go inside them here. So this is what you would have to do with every ship if you didn't use Songbird on them, but we're just going to use it on this one. And make our way out of the airship. I'm going to use Songbird again on this one. And then we're going to start cleaning up the last bit of enemies here. Got some Patriots to take out. Let's see if there's any more enemies. There can sometimes be a rock guy that spawns at this one. Looks like there wasn't one this time. It's cool. There could be one that spawns on the other side here. Looks like there's not one. So we should be all good. There's going to be 4 enemies that just spawn randomly when there's either something preventing them from ending, but it looks like we got everyone, so that should be the last of those enemies there.
So just smooth sailing
Yep.
from here?
So
awesome.
Hopefully we'll see a prompt that says join Elizabeth at the bow. Looks like we should be home free. There we go. Alright, excellent.
That didn't work out so bad.
So hopefully Elizabeth will spawn. Go over there quickly. This background can spawn in slowly. It looks like, yeah, we're gonna get the slow spawn in. So you can see that it kind of just background change and we're slowly going here. Sometimes this can like pop up right away, but we have to wait for the statue to fully load in before Elizabeth begins talking.
Oh.
Booker, come here.
What is it?
You can shoot off some celebratory fireworks here.
Yeah, this has been a good run and a fun one
Yeah,
at that.
thank you. I'll be curious to see what my
Yeah,
ace
thank
is
you.
because I got most things done pretty well. I might be actually might be a PB. We'll see.
Oh, okay. Fingers crossed. We'll see.
So we do have a load mover for this game. So I would have to do some calculations to know for sure, but I mean we can just guess based on the RTA time.
Oh, yeah. Well, we can get it whenever you call time for sure.
So we destroyed the siphon, Songbird destroyed the siphon, and that made Elizabeth get her full range of powers. So now she's sort of like a god or of some sort. Just
Where is he?
She is the songbird.
poor Songbird reaches his demise here.
Goodbye.
It's all right.
At least Elizabeth is comforting him. There, see? His eyes turn green. Bye-bye. Poor Songbird.
Elizabeth. I'm sorry.
And we're actually at a familiar area. If you played the first Bioshock game, this should look familiar.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to Rapture. It's all coming full circle.
What is this?
And
place?
if you played the
Elizabeth?
Burial at Sea DLCs, we actually get to go into Rapture.
What do you mean it's a doorway?
So those are pretty cool. It's kind
Where
of
are you
like
going?
I guess this is a little secret of, or a sneak peek of what was to come.
Is there an answer?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've played the DLCs, but I do remember having fun.
Why? What is going on?
So
Elizabeth, what do
now
you
we're
mean
making
that
our
this
way
is a
down
doorway?
to
Probably
the
gonna
bathysphere.
regret this.
All through the city Rapture. So we're gonna see some familiar things here. Looks beautiful as ever.
Yeah, I've always loved the design of Rapture. I think a lot of people did. It's so cool.
City at the
Very,
bottom of
very
the
unique
ocean.
premise. Environment.
Ridiculous.
Again, I just want to shout out the Bioshock community as a whole. I've been in the Bioshock community for maybe the past year or two, and everyone's been super nice, super supportive, very helpful. So if you want to learn the game yourself, please feel free to join the Bioshock Discord, speedrunning Discord. You can find that on the speedrun.com page for any of the games, and we'd be happy to help you out. There's guides for a lot of them. A lot of the games, there's guides, updated guides for Bioshock 1 and 2. Bioshock Infinite doesn't have an updated guide, but maybe that'll come in the future.
But there could be one in the future. It could be yours.
So there's a few more tricks in the rest of this run. But there's not going to be any combat. We're going to be doing some slip clips very similar to the stuff that we did in Monument Tower, where we'll switch to unlimited FPS and clip into some collision, and then we're able to get on top of it and skip some parts. So you'll see that here in a second after we open the door.
Will we be scaling the lighthouse?
I wish.
Okay.
So we're gonna angle ourselves here to clip through. select and jump up. That's gonna get us on top of this collision here.
All that's left is the juice.
I'm gonna walk straight, turn slightly to the left, and it's gonna allow us to walk a lot sooner as we are. You can see Elizabeth is still kind of caught in the back there. But we're also jumping backwards.
Don't get caught in the undertow.
Fleet feet that we got earlier in the run. And that just lets us do some straight movements, like backwards or side to side, faster. Here we're going to do another clip where we get on top of this collision.
It always starts with a lighthouse.
Walk around here. And get to navigate on that area a bit sooner. The last trick of the game here, we're going to jump and interact with this door, hold back immediately, and spam jump. If we do it right, it's gonna let us clip out of here. And what that does is we're gonna interact with the other Lighthorse house door that we're walking backwards to. And it'll let us interact with the creature immediately so that he can give us our baptism.
You already did, didn't you?
Are you ready to be born again?
I am.
Do you hate
So you can see here's some dialogue overlapping.
your wickedness?
Yes.
Do you want to clean the slate, leave behind all you were before, and be born again in the blood of the Lamb? Jesus!
I love that. It says, no, I don't want to.
I don't
Yes.
want to.
Make him born again.
Yes. Quickly he changes his mind.
Son!
You didn't go through with
You
it.
think a dunk in the river's gonna change the things I've done? Let's get out of here. Hey, these doors of yours, they're all tears, right? Well, open one up. Open one up to Paris. I want to be shut of all this.
Not until we find Comstock.
Comstock's dead.
No. He was here. This way.
So at this point in the game, a lot of the story is unraveling here.
And what of my debts?
So this is another flashback to with the Lutece, one of the
This
Lutece
is the man who hired me to find you.
Really?
wants to bring us the girl and wipe away the debt.
Girl for the debt.
And here you can see there's a baby.
What is this?
Hi, baby.
So this is our baby. And it looks suspiciously similar to Elizabeth. That's kind of
sure
weird.
as hell wouldn't give it over to this guy.
Booker, you don't leave this room until you do.
DeWitt, time is running short. Bring us the girl and wipe away the debt.
So we're gonna have to give Lutece the baby
Go ahead.
in order to wipe away the
You
debt.
can wait as long as you want. Eventually.
We give Lutece is getting the baby for Comstock, and we'll see that shortly here.
Comstock. What choice do I have?
So
The debt's paid. Mr. Comstock washes you of all
Comstock
sins.
is infertile, so he can't have his own children. So use Lutece's to
There was no baby.
open up a tear, time hop, and be able to, retrieve this child from Booker. Which ends up, being Elizabeth. You'll see very shortly here.
Now we've upset him.
I don't expect this next bit will do much for his mood.
Come on.
So
Yeah, all this time hopping here at the end is absolutely
it
wild.
can be very
What are
confusing.
we doing here? Comstock's dead. We
We're
can
gonna
just
do a little bit more
go
backwards
on
walking.
with our lives. You don't
It's
need
faster than
You mean like Chenlin?
forward in these sections.
Like Lady Comstock? No. He is alive in a million worlds. It's not over because he is dead. It will only be over when he never.
There's a small
even
trick that we're
lived
gonna
in
do
the
here.
first place.
We can uncap our FPS to make this scene end a little bit faster.
The deal is off.
But here you can see Booker regrets his decision and tries to get Elizabeth back
Give her back, you son of a
from
bitch.
Comstock. And as a result,
No.
through the struggle,
Shut down the machine.
Elizabeth
Shut
loses
it
her
down.
baby.
Shut down the machine now. Do it.
So
Yeah, here we
this is the
go.
reveal of
No.
Anna, who is Booker's child, actually being Elizabeth and being the same person.
No. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Anna, I'm sorry.
For almost 20 years.
So that's the AD on
Yep.
the hand.
One day,
That's what that's about.
A man came to you.
He branded himself
Offered
as
you a chance,
punishment
or
for, making this mistake.
A chance for us to
Right.
He immediately regrets his decision. It's also revealed that the Lieutenant twins aren't actually twins. They are actually the same person. So, just in different timelines. So, in one timeline, they were born Robert, another one, Rosalind. So, they're time hopping back and forth, but they are the same person, not different people. And they're the ones who created the city,
That's
created the
interesting.
tears, all of that. And it's, I believe that it's explained as the reason why Elizabeth can open tears is because part of her is in one timeline. Her finger got chopped off, so part of her is in one timeline and another part is in another. So that's why she's able to open tears and time hop, things like that.
To your credit, you did try to weasel
I wouldn't
out
have
of the
thought
deal.
of that. Interesting, yeah.
So coming up here at the end of the boat ride, we're going to make our way to the lighthouse and interact with the door. As soon as we interact with the door, that is
How
time.
would one know how far back to go?
That's the only way to do it. Go back to when he was born, and I'll smother the son of a bitch in his crib.
So we want to stop Comstock from getting Elizabeth, so we're going to try to also stop him from his reign of terror. So they're going to try to, stop it completely. That is time there.
All right.
This is what you want.
Richard, you got the final time for us.
It's the only way to undo what I've done to you.
138.52. What do you think, Gulch?
That sounds close, but I don't think that's quite it. But that was pretty close to my PB.
Of course it
Good.
is. I remember.
I mean, yeah, for a Hotfix run, I think that's excellent.
Excellent, thank you.
Who are you?
You chose to walk away.
Here's
From other
revealed
oceans.
that
You
Booker
didn't take the baptism.
and
You were born
Comstock
again
are the
as a
same people.
different man.
So
Comstock.
It
whoever,
all has to
if
end
he
together,
accepts the
starting
baptism,
not just in this
becomes
world,
Comstock,
all of
but if
ours.
he
Smother him in
denies the baptism, they become Booker DeWitt. So,
The choice is made before you are reborn.
and
It's like if your mind wasn't already blown enough. Let's just throw this in there for
there's a
you.
million Elizabeth.
Booker DeWitt.
No. I'm both.
Excellent. Well, that was Bioshock Infinite. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is my
Wow.
first GDQ run,
Yes.
so I'm super grateful for the opportunity and hope I was able to put on a good showcase.
Oh, yeah. Gulch, that was a wonderful run. Like, you are such a talented runner. Thank you very much for being on the
Thank
show
you.
today. Did you have any, shout outs, comments, anything you wanted to leave our viewers with before we go to the break?
Shout out to the Bioshock community and all the friends I've made. But while being in here, I appreciate everyone. If you want to watch more Bioshock content, I speedrun all the Bioshock games, so feel free to give me a follow on Twitch. I speedrun pretty regularly, so speedrun and stream pretty regularly. So if you enjoyed, check me out. Thanks, everyone.
Nice. Yeah, for sure. Thank you. So the link to Gulch's Twitch is in the chat there. So make sure you follow Gulch on Gulch 2 if you want to see more. But before we break, my friends, I do want to give a big shout out to all of our amazing supporters. Your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered here on the GDQ Twitch channel help support the Games Done Quick Hotfix. So if you do enjoy watching this show, Time Capsule, or any of our other Hotfix shows, please consider subscribing to the channel. You can always learn more about everything Hotfix at gamesdonequick.com/Hotfix. We will be right back with a super strong speed run of Wii U Fit, so stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. I'm your host, Smooth Operative, and you are watching Time Capsule. We have traveled all the way back to the year 2013 tonight, and it's about to get physical. So here to speedrun the Wii U Fit, please welcome Dragons.
Hey everybody, so yeah, as Tippy said, my name is Dragons. I'm a Wii Series speedrunner, and I'm going to be doing Wii Fit U for y'all today. So obviously I'm sure you know what Wii Fit is, you know, exercise game for the Wii. What you might not have known in 2013, they made a Wii Fit game for Wii U. And you know, I'm just drawn to it. It's a whole lot of fun because it is super precise movement and inputs with quite possibly the jankiest controllers that you could ever find. So I'm going to be running a category called All Beginner Categories Intentional. And before I explain, it's a bunch of words. Before I explain what that means, I got two really awesome people here to help me with co-commentary if they'd want to introduce themselves.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Sundafizuk. I've been speedrunning games in the Wii series for about as long as Dragons has. I'm probably best known for making a certain YouTube video about Wii Play Billiards, but we're here today to talk Wii Fit.
Hi, I'm Kiwi. I'm also a bit of a Wii series speedrunner. I've been here for a little bit. I've done some runs. I've been around the block.
I would say...
Well, it's very nice to have you all here.
And if Kiwi's not going to mention it, he's also decompiling Wii Sports, which is a little crazy. So I'm a CS major. I barely even know what that means. So, so I'm going to be running a
big brain.
So yeah, I'm going to be running all beginner categories intentional. So essentially, what that means, all beginner categories, I'm just going to be doing all of the non-auto scroller games as quickly as possible, essentially. And then last word of that is intentional, which means in layman's terms, I can't cheat. So I can't hold onto my desk for support. I can't like calibrate the balance board with like a tiny bit of weight to make it like more sensitive. Nothing like that. I gotta play the game as the Nintendo overlords intended. So I don't really got much else introduction. So I'm gonna put on the hat. I put that on.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Put on the hat.
Gotta protect the hair.
Yeah. This hat's awesome. We just found it on eBay and I bought it. So but yeah, no, I think with that I'm ready to go. So I can give a countdown if we're ready. I think we're good.
Yeah,
all right.
absolutely.
Gonna give it a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Just realized I forgot to switch my monitor input. Whoops. Okay, there we go.
Let's go. Okay, so the first game Dragons is going to be getting into here is climbing. It's going to be your typical rock climbing experience. Now, you'll notice these different colors of rocks that he's using the Wii remotes to grab. Blue holds are one hand only, green holds are both hands, and reds are one hand and take up stamina.
I was scared that was going to happen in climbing.
And the game warns you not to let go with both hands, but he doesn't really care. He's too good.
It's just too easy. And now we have the back half here. He's gonna go up this left side of the wall here. There's two paths, and while the left side is pretty hard, it's gonna put him closer to the finish. It's on the left side. These red rocks are pretty small, but it's honestly more lenient than you might think. If you look closely, you can see the hands kind of snap
That's
on.
never happened. Nice. Okay.
Unfortunate. It happens.
Great start.
It was a slippery rock.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, you got this. Next time.
No, that's all right. I just gotta restart it. That's no big deal.
There's a reason why we have this at the start of the run.
Yeah, it's the motion drift is just so make or break. For context there, please wait, remote. Okay, hold up. We're gonna do a little
there's a bit of a motion drift issue with this game sometimes. It's a little finicky.
Alright, should be good now.
Gotta repair the Wii remotes.
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
You'd think that
I know rock
two
climbing
Wii
is
remotes
pretty hard, so
yeah, well,
I imagine this is pretty difficult
well, me
too.
myself, I've been rock climbing for a long time in real life, and I will say, harder in this game because my hands don't go where they want me to. as opposed to real life.
That's really cool though.
Yeah, either way, Yeah, the motion drift is so make or break. It can literally make your it can just completely throw off the time of this. Like, for example, I have the IL world record for this, and it's a 54.63 that I genuinely have no idea how I got.
It's just one of those lucky streaks.
And it's in the world record.
It is in the world record, that's true.
A little crazy, a little crazy.
Okay, this is crazy. I've never had it this bad. I've never had the motion drift this bad. Is it? Okay, well, this is actually insane. It can be really bad. I've never had it be this bad before, but, you know, that's what happens.
Deep breath, Dragons, you got this? Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. I swear I'm not a fraud.
No, you're fine.
It's the technology, man.
Yeah, man. Blame the controller.
Yeah, the Wiimote is not an easy beast to control.
Yeah, absolutely.
In case you're not familiar, Nintendo's original Wii Remote only really had like an accelerometer and like some sort of like tilt detector. This game uses the Wii Motion Plus, which added a gyroscope, which is why this is even possible. But it still has problems, and if you've ever played Wii Sports Resort, you'll know that you need to put the Wii Remote down on the table to calibrate it. There are literally like buttons binded to like recenter the remote, so like there are still lots of motion problems that arise with these games, and that's one of the things you need to fight.
Okay. Should be a low 56.
Yeah, you'd think with two Wii remotes it would be easier, but it really just causes twice the amount of problems.
He did get up there, and that is gonna be out of climbing.
Yeah, thankfully.
Hey, that's what matters. On to the fun games.
Yeah, so
the ones that work.
So actually, as I just had like the worst climbing possibly ever, we're getting into what honestly is my real worst nightmare, which is obstacle course. So main issue with obstacle course is that it's entirely cycle based. So for example, I'm going to be running across this little bridge here, but once I'm done, I need to get past these 3 balls without stopping, or else it screws up a cycle on the next stage, and it looks like I'm screwed because my balance board sucks. Hold up. Oh man. This is great.
It's gonna be okay, Dragons. This is a tough game.
Yeah. Clearly.
There's honestly a lot more depth to these games than you might think. Even though you can only just move forward and jump, there, as Dragons was saying, there's a ton of little cycle skips and tech sprinkled in.
Yeah, like even
and
there,
it only gets crazier the further you get.
Yeah, even there, it's hard to slow down.
Getting all your movements.
It's hard to slow down properly, because if you stop, it takes you quite a bit of time to fully get back up to speed. And so usually I just try to slow down to like a walking pace, which can be really finicky sometimes. Okay, sorry. This is the one that really gets me breathing. But
I'm getting a workout just watching this.
Of course.
You're doing awesome.
So there's a cycle here I can go for. Or you can guess what it is. It's possible to run under that log, but it's super dependent on how you end at the second level. So I had a bit of a weird one, so I decided just to play it safe there. Alright. The good news is, if you fall off, you get reset to the last checkpoint, so it's not a huge deal.
That's forgiving at least.
Okay, so that's the other thing I was worried about. That's a tough one. You have to jump really early on that last grate. And I've just had it multiple times where I just go too early and fall.
This last part's a little scary.
Yeah,
there is a cycle where you can beat all 4 of these in one go, but
yeah, I never go for it.
You gotta be really fast.
Go!
All right.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, 608's definitely not bad.
All right.
I guess one other thing.
Now, is it?
Oh
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, one other thing to point out. You may realize I'm not using. Well, my Mii doesn't say dragons on it. That's because it's actually a lot faster in this game to play with a Mii that you don't have registered, because it saves this little like 2-second cutscene at the end of each game of a little piggy box showing up. And so,
that's
yeah.
funny.
So I'm playing with a guy named Commander right now, a longtime legend of the Wii series community.
Nice.
By the way, this is an ultimate obstacle course, so if you remember from about 30 seconds ago, this is like obstacle course. But what you may notice is I have 180-degree motion, which, as you might be able to expect, doesn't control amazingly, especially with jumping, because stuff like that can happen where you just jump in the wrong direction. That should make it... Okay, that was close. Actually way closer than I thought it would have been, but...
It gets even crazier on this next section when we start to see these rotating metal platforms. If you're not careful and you jump on those the wrong way, you're just gonna slide right off.
Yeah. Speaking of jumping.
Yeah.
Really scary. Doesn't save a ton. But something else that is really scary and doesn't save a ton is coming up right here. I'm gonna jump here. So I get further up. And I should. Yeah, and that's what I mean. Luckily, it doesn't lose too much. But you can jump around that ball. And I'm just gonna follow this one. There we go. But you can jump kind of around that last ball. And it makes it so you don't have to walk all the way around on dead. I think? No. That's lucky.
Oh, that's close.
Yeah.
Wow.
Alright.
Thankfully, these games are for kids and give you a little bit of leeway when you're on a ledge. That doesn't mean they're not hard, though, certainly.
Alright.
Now, did y'all play this game when it was fresh, 2013?
No, fun fact, I literally bought a Wii U in like 2021.
Let's go.
For reasons I couldn't
Gotta
tell
get
you.
the exercise in.
Alright.
I actually don't have Wii Fit U, but I'm a big Wii Fit fan, I gotta say.
For sure, yeah. So moving into table tilt here. Pretty self-explanatory. You put the ball in the hole, and you win.
Yeah, this is going to be a more balanced board-centric game. This is one of the games that took advantage of the weight sensors on the board, where the direction Dragons is leaning is going to be the exact direction that the table tilts. So it's very finicky, but...
And the way that each of these platforms spawn, they can be at really any rotation, so like the angle is pretty much random. Which hurts me on level 5. Oh, there's a terrible angle for this. So there's a lip right here by the green ball. I don't know why I pointed. Yeah, and that's what happens. It's really hard to get them over the lip. That's the last thing you want. Yeah, so you don't want to send any balls off the table because then it's gonna rotate and basically just send all of them off. There we go. Oh, nope. Yeah, level 5 is just the worst thing. We're gonna play this a little safe here just to get out of here.
Trying to deal with all the extra little pieces on the board.
Oh, for sure.
Rough.
It's not the last you'll see of that issue, for sure.
It gets real crazy. These are just the beginner levels.
For sure, yeah. So level 6, you want to make sure you can actually get the Miis stuck in these little like edge pieces on the sides. And if you do that, you can't really get them out. I've gotten them out before. Not easy. Level 7, you want to try to get this first ball kind of directly in, and then just kind of corral everyone else over. Ooh, not like that though. There we go. Let's not do it again. Okay. There we go. Okay, so level 8, now there's a bunch. So I like to try to get these edged ones in first. Perfect, yeah, that's exactly what you want to see. Because then I can just bring these 4 over and get them in.
You may notice the level being in the shape of the W, despite it not being a W level.
Very true. Okay. Yeah, besides level 5, that was honestly really solid table tilt. Like, minus that level 5, I would take that
cool one.
Basically any run. Shout out to Gongkwai, who has the score record for that game, and I literally have no idea how he got it. And he's had it for years.
Oh,
yeah,
wow,
so
okay.
Next thing...
Yeah, somebody's got to beat that.
Yeah. Ain't gonna be me. So next thing we got is ski slalom. I'm gonna shut up, because I need to lock in here.
Oh, this one's a little scary. So he's gonna go between these gates here in the slalom course. You do get a 7-second time penalty in the game for every gate that he misses. And actually, according to the rules of this category, those 7 seconds get applied to his real time. So it's important to not miss any of these here.
Like that.
Some of the
it's so easy to make one slight misadjustment, and it's just like unfortunate, but overall, not bad.
It happens.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's not really that huge of a deal. But yeah, no, it's just so hard. It's like you want to be at top speed for all of it, but it's like it's just without support. It's so tricky. Anyway, hope you've been studying. It's time for Perfect 10.
I'm nervous.
So, Perfect 10 is, for lack of better words, math. We're going to be adding to 10 here with these mushrooms.
It's a bit of a numbers game here. Yeah, you gotta try and go quickly. He's got 20 rounds, so he's gonna have to do this 20 times. And the farther you get, it starts to introduce more mechanics like an extra mushroom. And even negative numbers.
Yeah, pretty soon here we're going to get into the negatives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably
you start having to use all of them.
Yeah, sometimes you do have to use all of them. It is kind of RNG, but it's not a huge source of it. Yeah, and also it just doesn't control amazingly, so yeah. And that's
the premise is really funny.
Yeah.
Just like shaking your hip into the mushroom.
Yeah. No, and sometimes for the non-intentional subcategory here, it's actually a lot of people just put really low weight and play with their hands. like actually that's what people do. Anyway, I have a fourth controller now because I got the 2 remotes balance board, but now we got the gamepad. So
gamepad has entered the arena.
So this is dessert course. All I'm gonna say about dessert course is I would not trust me to be your waiter. That's Kiwi right there.
I do remember this one.
Yeah.
Kiwi's getting the first piece.
But yeah, so basically, you just gotta keep it flat, make sure the desserts don't fall off. If I'm being honest, I don't really know what half of these desserts are. Like, what is this thing?
It's like a Swiss roll, like a Swiss cake roll.
Don't worry, wait until we get to the rock. So one thing that is interesting about dessert course is that the approximate positions of where the Miis are going to be doesn't change. So I know where these Miis are going to be. This one's always sketchy. I kind of have to two-wheel it here. that was an extreme two-wheel.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
the extra Miis move around, right? Like the ones that aren't at the table?
There are waiters that move around, not as much on the beginner difficulty, but yeah. Anyway, here's the rock. I don't really know what else to call it.
Oh, it's a cream puff.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, wow.
You know, I never would have... You know, alright. Either way, I call this one the Think Fast.
I love sweets, what can I say?
Anyway. Yeah, so, this way, it's really easy, because you can also just hit the bystanders. Oh, that was interesting.
Do they fall over if you hit them?
They don't fall over, but it, like, stun locks you, and it's pretty rough.
Right.
Like, you can save it, but it's not great. Just looking to be...
3 at once.
Yeah,
That's
it's looking to be, that is a perfect dessert course, basically. Which I don't get in world records, so we'll take that.
There you go.
That was awesome.
It all balances out.
I want sweets now.
Oh man, yeah. I would eat the Wii Fit U cake.
It looks nice, I gotta say.
We got a next community event. We got to make all the Wii U Fit sweets for everybody.
Might be huge. All right, anyway.
That'd be fun.
I'm getting on the floor. So this is Core Luge.
Oh.
Yeah.
Move it or lose it.
That's crazy. When did you come up with that?
Like 20 minutes ago.
Okay. Yeah, so anyway, so we're going to be riding down this luge track. Takes about a minute and a half. You want to try to get up to your top speed of 90 as quickly as possible. And you'll also notice I got a little startup boost at the beginning. I don't even really know what the timing is for that, but it usually works, so I don't question it. The other thing you want to do is you don't want to be turning for, like, you kind of want to minimize how often, because your top speed, like, very slightly drops, and even though it's just a slight difference, it's the little things in categories like these that are so optimized.
Now, Dragons, I know that it's been a pretty intense run so far. Do you feel like even though this is kind of fast, you get to breathe a little bit being on the floor?
Low-key, yeah. You're going to see at the end,
all right.
I think that turn really good. You don't want to take that turn too early because you can actually get airtime and it screws up your line. But that was kind of perfect, actually. Anyway, so yeah, this is where I get to relax. I just kind of get to chill, go down this last little slope, and see what my final time is. Is that the 24?
Bring it home?
No. 124.43. That might be my best on that, actually. That might have been like a gold.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Shout out to, I think it's Retro Wavy who has record in that currently. Not actually sure. I think he has it. But anyway, heading into Balance Bubble, we have a classic. This is from the original Wii Fit. And it's essentially, if this bubble touches anything, I fall into the water. So, with that said, I'm going to be taking what are some pretty scary lines here. Especially when we get to this last bit, where I'm going to take the left path. Ooh, okay. Ending was a little sketchy, but... And there we go.
Ooh, the bees. I guess they can just kind of knock you right over.
Yeah, the bees will pop the bubble. They get a lot worse on later difficulties, for sure. They don't make too much of a difference on the beginner difficulty, but yeah. With that, though, we are done with the balance games. So we're moving into orienteering, which is a personal favorite of mine. So essentially what you're doing is you're jogging around Woohoo Island and trying to find a bunch of Miis based on pictures I can see on the gamepad. And they'll show up in the bottom left here once it starts. Okay. Now, I say it's my personal favorite. At the same time, it's also probably the biggest source of RNG in the run. Basically, the only source of RNG that really matters, if I'm being honest. It's just because the Miis can spawn in a bunch of different places, it's very variable. But that's also why I like it, because it involves a lot of on-the-fly running, which I think is cool. So...
Yeah, I do too.
I'm gonna turn back around here.
Gotta think quickly.
I left Kiwi behind. I thought he was on the other side. I know he is on the other side. Wait, where is he?
Are there a set number of patterns here? Or is it just
there's a set
random?
number of locations, yeah. You can... There's only so many, like, unique spots they can spawn. And there's usually kind of one in, like... in, like, each general area. So, like, it's not going to be, like, they're all going to be, like, right next to each other. But... yeah. You can also trip if you run too fast. Which, you know...
I know, I saw your little meat fall. I'm like, oh no.
But yeah,
it's hard when the game is telling you to slow down and you're going too fast. It's like, but we're
it does the same thing.
running.
It does the same thing in climbing, where it tells you, "Be careful, let go with both hands, and you'll fall off." And like, I just have to not care, basically, what the game says.
Completely ignored.
All right, so now we're moving into island cycling. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to be riding a bike, and there's a bunch of flags scattered around that I have to get. And so this route has changed so much. But yeah. Right off the bat, you're going to notice I'm leaning forward, because that actually makes you go significantly faster, and the game does not tell you ever. Like, we just didn't know for, like, the longest time. But you're going to notice now I have a dog, and the dog is supposed to be my friend, but sometimes he doesn't like me very much. So if I press A... Okay. Sorry, I live on a college campus. I don't know if that came through on the mic, but...
No, you're good, you're good.
So Either way, so if I press the A button, it'll send the dog towards the flag. But sometimes it's just like not a fan, and it'll just like give up. It can happen if I'm too far away, but sometimes it just happens anyway. There's also there's also culling. I'm sure one of y'all can explain that in better terms than I can, but
yeah, in this game, if you send the dog towards a flag but turn away from the flag too fast, the game will unload the flag. So the dog will get it, but it won't be loaded. So you will still get the flag, but you will have to turn around first, which is kind of an insane thing. So Dragons is just gonna want to be making sure the flag is on screen long enough to actually get it.
There's a little bit of an interesting strat here at the end. After he gets the 13 flags, he just has to go back to the start. But the hitbox for the finish line actually extends a little bit into the pole. So what he's going to do is just crash right into the pole and it's going to count.
yeah. Sometimes if you crash into it like too good, it just won't count it and you'll lose like 8 seconds. But see if I don't.
And this game is from Wii Fit Plus, but for some reason this trick doesn't work in Wii Fit Plus. It's just a Wii Fit U thing.
Yeah, it doesn't do it in Wii Fit Plus, which is fine.
Oh, okay. Just had like a little collision with the side.
No idea.
Not too bad.
Maybe it happened when they ported this game to HD, who knows. But anyway, we're about done here. Last thing I got is rowing crew. So I'm going to be sitting back down.
All right.
Be sitting back down for some rowing. And basically, if as you can tell, I'm on a boat. And I got to help them row this boat. And it's very finicky, and I don't like it very much.
You got this, Dragons.
Another game where you're at the mercy of the controller.
Yeah.
Not too much going on here, though. He just has to match the pace of everybody else.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a long boat ride here, but we get to see some dolphins, some seagulls.
Yeah.
There's some scenery here.
Yeah, I mean, if Dragons, if you're focusing a lot right now, maybe Kiwi or Sin, you can like explain what got Dragons started with this game and speedrunning it, if you know.
I know. Not a ton's going on here. I can I basically I started in probably like it was like summer of 2019. I don't entirely remember how I got into it. It was probably, if I had to guess, a Wii Sports Resort video from Alaska XP2. Another long time go to the scene. Okay, I actually hit that speed up. It does speed up at the end. I don't know why, but yeah, I really started doing it a lot over quarantine, and I've just kind of been doing it ever since. And time is going to be right like now. So time. There we go.
Let's go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Blink and you'll miss it. Good job, Dragons. Thank you so much. Yeah, breathe.
I wasn't running a timer. What was the final time for that?
Sure, Richard, do you have the final time for us?
25:29? Yes.
25:29.
With losing like 3 minutes in climbing, that's fine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry about it. It looked really challenging too, and it's funny because I thought I hadn't really played this game, but then a couple of these games jogged my memory, so that was really cool,
For
Dragons. Sure. Do you have any shout-outs, comments you want to leave our viewers with?
Yeah, once I take a sip of water here. I got my jug.
Yeah, please cool off, get a drink. What did y'all think?
Yeah, no, that's definitely yeah, it was a pretty good, pretty decent finish to the run. The beginning aside, everything else went pretty all right. For context, world record is 21:38 by me. So it's such a volatile game sometimes. It's like usually it's fine, but sometimes it just hits you and then it doesn't stop hitting you. So
So your world record time now, are there kind of minimal mistakes in that run?
I'd love to say no. I mentioned I get a really bad dessert course in my record. I also get just bad orienteering RNG essentially. But But yeah, no. Shout out all these games. Not a lot of people know that you can speedrun not just the Wii Fit series, but also like Wii Sports, your Wii Sports Resort, freaking Wii Play, Wii Party even. They're all super accessible games. I really recommend them to anyone, even if you're like a complete beginner, never ran a game before. They're just a ton of fun, and there's so much variety in the series that you can really find something that you.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Shout out Kiwi and Cindy for being here. I want to shout out Cedric and Tewak. They're the mods for this game on Speedrun.com. Both real awesome. I was gonna ask Cedric to join us, but unfortunately, he lives in Germany, and it is probably like 6:30 in the morning over there. So, yeah. Shout out the Leafy Greens. I'm sure they're watching. They're some of my best friends.
Yeah.
Two of them are in this call. Yeah, if you're planning on going to SGDQ, I'm gonna be there. Kiwi's gonna be there. Come say hi. I'll probably be the guy in the practice room with a Wii balance board. Can't miss me, really.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Dragons, but you've submitted this run to the
Yes,
marathon,
I have.
correct? Okay, so the jury's out, but I hope to see it.
Of course,
again.
yeah. And for those watching this submission, I'll do way better. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. But no, of course, thank you all for having me on. Thank you, Tippy, again for inviting me to be on the stream. And just one last thing I got. Shout outs to Elise Gatas, just a really cool guy. So that's about all I got. So see y'all around.
Right on. Well, thank you so much, Dragons, for showing this off for us. I did put a link to your Twitch, Cindy's Twitch, and the GitHub of Kiwi 515. So please, if you're interested in any of their channels, I encourage you to check them out. Thank you all so much for being here. Before we break, friends, don't forget that Sonic and the Sidekicks is back on June 1st and 2nd. So if you do speedrun a game with any of Sonic's friends and are interested in the marathon, use the command !Sonic for details. We'll be right back after the break.
Enjoy Antichamber!
So don't go away. Yes, thank you. The break. I'm your host, Smooth Operative, and you are watching Time Capsule here on the Games Done Quick Hotfix. Our final run of the evening is upon us, so here to show off a speed run of Antichamber, please welcome Osmorn. Yeah, no worries. Some technical difficulties. Osborne just asked me if I had ever played this game before, so he's going to take care of it for us.
Yes, wonderful. All right. Being stumped on it for an hour and then getting frustrated with it is about an average experience for many people, including myself. When I first played this game, I'll admit. It's a game that gives you no instruction. I'll be so real. But Antichamber is like, first of all, hello, my name is Osborne. You didn't hear that part. Hi, I'm going to be playing Antichamber 100%. And it's like this non-Euclidean first-person puzzle game. Think, Portal, Superliminal, other stuff that I've run in the past, if you're familiar with my runs. Also, this particular run means a good amount to me because this was actually the first run that I ever did on the GDQ screen at GDQ 2022.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
And so it's gonna be a good time, especially because before practicing for this appearance, I will be so real, I had not done a run of this in like a year. But I did some practice, and I'm feeling really confident about this appearance.
Yes.
So you're probably wondering what all the trackers you're seeing on screen right now. To the, I guess right for y'all, but left of my face, is the map and then I'm going to see if this is in frame, the map, and then below that is the signs. The signs are like in this wall right here, but they're represented by blue dots. There's 120 of them, and in order to collect them, you just need to be within like a certain proximity of them. You don't need to actually like physically touch them. And then this is the map, and then on the bottom left of the game screen, you're going to see some more dots. These are the pink cubes that we're going to be collecting. There's 13 of them total, and then just below that is the total percentage of completion. So, with that being said, we have to start a new game with a new save file. We have a lot of really cool tricks that we're going to be seeing in this run, and we're going to try and do it all in under 25 minutes. So, timing is going to begin, and Tippy, whenever you feel like it, you can butt in and ask questions or say whatever you'd like if I'm not in the middle of talking.
For sure. And chat, if you do have any questions for Osborne at all, feel free to post them as well.
Yes, please. So, timing will begin once we get into Leap of Faith, and that'll be in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, good luck. You got this.
Thank you so much. So the first thing that we're going to be doing in Antichamber, we're going to fall down here, and the 100% route is kind of routed to get the different guns in this game as fast as possible. The first one being the blue gun. The blue gun is a very bare bones gun. It can only shoot and collect 1 cube at a time. And like it can store some in your gun, but we only really use 1 at a time in this gun. So right here, we're getting introduced to the concept of pink cubes. These pink cubes will only move if you have your cursor on them, and you just have to make sure that they get to their destination, and then that's how you know where they're collected. You can see on the tracker that one was collected. And you have to do that pink cube first. If you do anything else in this game before you get that pink cube, the pink cube will then become inaccessible. It is a bother, but that's just because that's the very first thing that we do. And you can see right here that a lot of these like mechanics, such as these windows or a lot of the other mechanics in this game, are based on like your camera positioning. And so you can see that when I put my entire camera up to those windows, I was able to transport to wherever the window was showing me. And a lot of times these games will transport you to different areas if you're like facing a certain direction in a certain room. And right here, this is probably, if you've ever seen anything about this game, this like stairway is probably like what you've seen because it's in a lot of promotional material. But we have a specific area that we want to go to, and that is at the end of this hallway once we go up, down the red stairs and then up the blue stairs. And at the end here, we're going to quit back to main menu or quit back to this hub. So the hub, we're going to be going there every single time because, you know, oftentimes it's easier to select where you want to go from the map instead of like walking there. So you're gonna see me like just easily quit the menu and go back to save a few seconds at a time every single time that I do that.
Sure.
So right here, right here we had a. Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
I was gonna ask, like, as far as like your positioning and stuff goes, where you have to be in a certain, I guess, orientation before you go through like a section, is that easy to remember, or do you find yourself struggling sometimes in practice?
Well, now it's easier to remember. It's not so easy like when you're first starting out. I will admit, during practice for this run, my main concern was just like, what if I forget what to do at a certain point? But in all the practice runs that I've done, I haven't forgotten anything so far. So hopefully that doesn't happen today. Right here, you're going to see an instance of what is known as lag glitch. And so right here, we're just going to be like making the game go in and out of windowed mode to purposefully cause lag so that certain triggers, when you walk through them, you will not be able to, you won't be able to activate them. And you want that to happen in certain cases because as you can see there in that last area that we did, we were able to open that door without activating the laser that would have closed it, and that was only possible via lag glitch. So now we're going to go here, and we're going to be introduced to a new glitch known as a warp, which is the most broken glitch in this game. And so we're going to try and grab the yellow gun first. I hate the timing of this particular trick right here. Because you want all of the lasers to be uncovered at the same time so that there you go, so that the door opens and then immediately closes behind you. But a warp right here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be essentially taking all of these cubes and we're going to be shooting them right here, causing lag and then exiting to the main hub. And then we're going to be choosing this particular spot on the map. Essentially, I chose a spot on the map that overlapped with the cubes that we just shot. And so when we entered that spawn point, the game doesn't like it when us and a cube are sharing the exact same like space. And so what it does is we spawn in there and then it transports us back to the lobby with a gun. And it gives you in this, it like lets you be in this like really broken state where you can just choose anywhere you want to go on the map, including places you haven't been to yet. And so right here is the only RNG portion of this run, where you just have to wait for all of these orbs to like get rid of sections of the wall that allow you to pass through. Over here, we're going to see another instance of the lag glitch once we get rid of these cubes right here. Perfect. Oftentimes that one's a really tricky like way to time it. You want to be like really close to whatever you're about to like phase through with lag glitch, but you don't want to be too close where you activate it before you actually lag through. So right here we're going to be activating some towers, and we're going to be doing that via tower clip. And so all that it is just we're going to be pushing ourselves through the wall with the cubes like so. The reason it's called tower clip is because the game kind of presents a series of rooms to you labeled 1 through 8 as like a tower, like different floors in a tower. But in the actual physical level geometry of the game, all of the rooms of the tower are just right next to each other, so you can clip through walls and like get into the next floor of the tower pretty easily like that. I want you to remember that yellow puzzle that we just did, because there's another version of that puzzle that is the most annoying thing ever in this game. It's so bothersome. But did you have something to say there, Tippy, in between?
Fly? Are we gonna?
Why?
It was like fly? Question mark.
Oh, fly? Oh yeah. Well, technically there's some flying. I'm not gonna lie. And we're gonna be doing that. It's less flying and more like just jumping in midair. Because that's actually a good transition to what I'm going to be talking about next. First of all, we're going to be tower clipping once again through here from floor 5 to floor 6. Again, just to be able to clip ourselves through like that. And instead of flying, what we're going to be doing is a glitch called jump storage. And for whatever reason, when you walk off a platform in this game without having jumped previously, you can just jump in midair. And the game kind of stores you in like a state where you can just jump in midair without having to have anything underneath you. You just walk off the platform like that. And we're going to use that in conjunction with another glitch right here, in which we're going to jump in midair right here and then put a cube underneath us to go back up the tower and grab another part of the map like so. I have no idea really how jump storage works, but if you look up like glitches in Antichamber, like it's one of the easiest things you can find on like a Wikipedia for like interesting facts, which is nice. We're gonna get the 5th pink cube here. You want to continuously jump through this hallway because otherwise it'll transport you to here, and which you fall down and get more parts of the map right here. And so next we're going to be doing more lag glitching here, and this next room is actually pretty cool when to talk about the mechanic that we got with the yellow gun. You might have seen us being able to physically like drag some cubes throughout the space or throughout the levels, like physically drag them without needing to use like our gun, like so. And so we're going to use that to our advantage by filling up this top layer just to this corner and then dragging them down right here. They're going to try and go to exactly where we spawn them, but it's going to stop once like something blocks it, and it's going to stop exactly where the other laser on the other end of the door is. And so as we fill up the bottom half of that door to touch the other laser, we're able to activate both lasers at the same time and have that open up the door. And right here, we're going to do cube chambering. We've already been doing this glitch a few times in the run, but cube chambering is essentially you're going to like right click and then left click, and then once you go through like a particle barrier, you're going to let go of right click, and that'll just you'll be able to store 1 cube at a time, because usually when you walk through those particle barriers, you will any of the gun, like the cubes in your gun, will just disappear. It's kind of like the barriers in between levels in Portal, if you want to like compare.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right here, we're just going to be using all those cubes that we just multiplied and get up to the secret area. I guess that's also another thing that I forgot to mention is like the exact mechanic of the red gun that we got, like the final gun, is that you can multiply cubes, and so you can just like shoot them like that. And yes, if you try, you can multiply the cubes, and then if you like multiply too many of them, the game will in fact crash due to entity overload, and I've tried it. It doesn't take too much. So right here in this opening section, this is called Logic 101. You might have noticed like why are all the cubes like colored different colors, and they're colored red, green, yellow, and blue because depending on like what gun the game thinks you should have right now is when it's like what color the cubes are. So you see that these cubes are colored blue because the game thinks that you should be having the blue gun right now. So this is because this is like the tutorial sequence of the game, but we're doing it right now because we have the red gun and it's a lot faster to do it with the red gun. Right here, we're gonna have a weird glitch where for some reason, if you just build a wall of cubes before you go down that elevator, it'll launch you downwards. Cube chamber 1 cube through here. And then we're going to use that same cube to open this door, turn around to a room that was not there before, because of course this game is mainly just rooms that weren't there before if you look the right way. And then we're going to look down even though there's a sign on the ceiling that tells us not to, because we need some maps. So we're like about halfway through the run in terms of time. Do you have any questions thus far, Tippy?
Gosh, I'm just looking at this game and it's so atmospheric and beautiful. So it makes me wonder, is that something that attracted you to the speedrun, Osmorn? Or tell me about your experience with puzzle or speedruns in general.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing that brought me to this game is because I had speedrun games like it before it. The first-person puzzle platformers that I had done before were Light Matter and also Superliminal. Ooh, we're gonna try that again, but it gives me more time to talk.
We've had those on past Time Capsule episode, which was great.
Yes, it was a lot of fun, and so this was like the third one that I got in. Third one that I got into, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of the people in the community like overlap, so it's really fun to get into. And this particular category, 100%, was a category that had not been ran since 2013. So I was the first person in like 8 years to run it, and I had to do several reroutes. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to get into it. So you saw right there that we used a lot of different mechanics, such as multiplying in order to get a lot of the signs and maps that we got there. It's mainly just like flourishing on the different mechanics we've already been introduced to thus far. But this particular section right here is a lot of fun, mainly because you want to go to this maze section first. In which there's a lot of up and down and all around, using your camera positioning to transport you to different areas. And once we get to this final area, we're gonna jump up here, and then we're gonna try and do a nice little glitch where we're going to shoot our cubes and then immediately quit the menu. I don't know if that worked. We're gonna try. And then we're going to shoot those cubes. We're gonna cube chamber 1 cube through here because we're gonna need it at the end over here. That might have worked, but I don't know if it did. Oh, it did. Wonderful. So if you were able to shoot those cubes and then, okay, they're here somewhere. Come on. Are they? Oh, yeah, they are.
Cubes.
You can just grab them through the seam. So essentially I shot the cubes and then I immediately quit the menu, and I quit the menu right before the cubes hit the wall. And if you do that, the cubes will like just stay there in wherever you shot them in the map. Typically, whenever you like transport back to the hub, any cubes in the area should disappear. But if you just quit the menu before they hit the wall, that will not happen. And so we used it to our advantage and then grabbed like cubes like through the seam there, on the other end. What were you gonna ask, Tippy?
I was just saying that's pretty nice.
It is very nice, and it's also the crux for another glitch that we're gonna be seeing much later in the run, towards the end. We're gonna go here to stop and go. We're gonna do lag glitch so that the door doesn't close here, and then we're gonna go back to Stairway to Heaven and do a lot of up and down movement. First off, we need to walk forward here because we're gonna have a map, part of the map that we're gonna come back to later. Boom. There's a hidden cube underneath these stairs. This is one that a lot of people find. And we're gonna go back up here. The ceiling for this particular room is higher than you think it is, so you can just transport all your cubes like that, and then grab them on the other end. And we're gonna back up this large cube because it's connected to that elevator over here. We're gonna go over here, and then we're gonna fill up and cover up all the lasers on each end of here so we can open up this door. And we're gonna jump storage so that we fall down and grab the map and the sign, but that we don't like fall down there by accident. Right now is usually the point where I like look at my percentage, and I saw that I had 84.6%, which is exactly the amount that we should have at this point. So I haven't missed anything thus far, thank goodness. And also this is like a really good example of like how the shooting in this game is like really, really precise. Excuse me, thank you. And so being able to like manage that while also maintaining your momentum is like one of the more difficult things about this run.
I don't even know how you see the little dot on your screen, like to aim at everything.
Oh, you get used to it. It's like, this is an incredibly small like crosshair, but you know, you get used to it at a certain point. If anything, it's nice to have a little bit of accuracy there instead of like a huge one that you don't really know where the center is.
Getting in the way.
Yes. We're going to grab this cube over here, and we're going to we're going to use it and transport ourselves up here. We want to look backwards when you grab that sign, because if you don't, the game will transport you somewhere else. And this is the most annoying puzzle in this game because it's like a harder version of the yellow puzzle that we saw earlier. But you have to like get up close to these cubes, and if you don't do it right, sometimes they will be very finicky when you try to move them, which is like the most annoying thing ever. But thankfully, they were kind of cooperative that time. This puzzle is the exact same puzzle that we saw with the green cubes earlier, but we're solving it in the same way because we have the red gun. And we're going to make some platforms here. I am always so anxious with this jump because it's so easy to mess up, and you have to do the fall of shame if you do. But we're going to use these cubes to get up here. I'm going to go a little closer than that. And we're going to fill up this area with 3 walls worth of cubes to activate all the lasers and get one more sign and map trigger right here. And then we're going to go to jump too far, and we're going to grab this cube that you can barely grab underneath these stairs and use it to just get rid of all these cubes so we can just walk through here. And now we're going to do another warp to skip the chase sequence. And by doing that, all we have to do is aim right here, pause, lag, quit again. That should have worked, and it did. Wonderful. And we also got hub storage. So that is really good because hub storage is essentially like taking the cubes in your gun. If you shoot them fast enough while you're causing lag and then quit to menu, a lot of the times the cubes in your gun will get refunded back to you. And so when you wherever you go next in the map, the cubes will just stay there in your gun instead of like disappearing into the environment.
Oh, sure.
But you have to do it like really, really fast because otherwise the cubes will just stay there in the environment or just disappear entirely. But yeah.
That's the tricky part.
It is the tricky part, right?
Yes.
So right here, we're going to be going to the end all the way over here just to get one sign. And now it's the cleanup section because every 100% run has the cleanup section. We're going to grab a few more map and sign triggers. We're going to go back over here to the chase, the area that we skipped. And if you go back to this door, boom, there's a little pink cube over here. And we're going to get 2 more pink cubes, one of which is right over here at Deja Vu. We're going to grab these cubes right here. And one thing that I haven't explained is that these circles that are on like the floors in the wall, the only way that if you look like if you are facing them, whatever is like behind you will just disappear. That is a mechanic that is meant to be introduced very early in the game, and it was. It's just that, you know, we already knew how it worked, and so it didn't really look like much. But that's like the base mechanic of the game that they're meant to introduce to you pretty early on. And so that's just the most obvious example of it, right there when you're getting that pink cube. We're going to be transporting all these cubes through this particle barrier. We can't cube chamber through here because we need 2 cubes at the end, and cube chambering only does 1 cube at a time. And so after that, we're going to grab 2 more map triggers, and then we're going to go to being an entrepreneur down here to grab 1 more map trigger and another sign. And we have one more pink cube to get, and that's the good news. The not so good news is that it takes 90 seconds to get. So Tippy, if you want to say anything right now, you definitely can.
Yeah, you know, I'm really kind of curious about what the premise is for this game in terms of like, you know, why are we in this antechamber? Did somebody put us here? Like, what's the story?
That is an amazing question, and I wish I could answer any of that for you. This game does not have a plot. You are just plopped in here, and you are just to have a bunch of puzzles. There's this like being, like that's just like this black cube that you might have seen when we were at that like near the end game. That's supposed to be like the ghost cube. However, that's pretty much all the information that you get about the ghost cube. Like aside from that, this game really has no plot in any way, shape, or form.
So it's just a forever test chamber kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And so this game really means a lot to me in terms of the speedrun, especially because it's like one of the more active speedruns that I do. All the resources that we have, including some rebindings. For example, I have a scroll wheel down to shoot. I have escape to Q, and I have F11, which is like going in and out of windowed mode. Rebound to a mouse key, or a mouse button, I should say. And so all of that combined with like all the resources that we have in terms of the trackers for all the signs and everything, it makes it a pretty, I like to think it makes it like a pretty accessible speedrun. Of course, you have to like download a few things to make that happen, but you know, you won't need to like reach across your keyboard to do basic tricks, and that's kind of the crux of why we allow everything that we do.
That's really good to know, actually, for anyone that might be interested in running this in the future, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of fun. So right here, the good news is that you might have noticed that we only have 3 signs left. There's 2 of them right here. And you also might have noticed that there was a timer in the lobby. The good news is that's where the last sign is. The bad news is that we do have to sit here for 1 hour and 8 minutes.
Oh, do we now?
We do. This sign will only unlock once this timer is over, so I hope you have popcorn. We're going to be here for a good bit.
Sure, yeah. I'm kind of curious, Osborne, you know, there's so many... Wait,
before you do that, I actually am going to do a glitch because I lied. You can just get the cube like that.
You joker.
Yes. Right there, you can just like clip through the wall by getting transported back to the lobby and then moving to the left. And right behind that timer, you can just grab the sign right there, right through there. You do have to restart the game, unfortunately, in order to do that, because you can't quit the hub because the game thinks you're in the hub already. And so you're forced to like exit the menu and quit. So now we're going to finish the run. That's like it. That's like the whole run. Time is going to come up with in a few seconds right here once we shoot this cube into the pedestal. So 3, 2, 1, time.
GG.
Beautiful.
What did you think, Osborne? You're the professional. Was it a good run?
I think this is a great run. I think this is a beautiful run. And also you can clip out of this dome if you like exit out of the dome before it entraps you. But yeah, this is an absolutely amazing run. How did you like it, Tiffy?
I find this game like so comfy. I want to say that there's another game that came out in 2013 called The Stanley Parable, and it was giving me a kind of like cozy vibe in that way. Like I love the ambient sounds and all the colors, like beautiful game. And I do want to say to everyone in chat, think about what just happened. Absorb that information, because Osborne is going to do it all again, but any percent. Tell us about that.
This is true. We're going to do any percent. I do have to exit the game once more in order to restart it. Since the game does not allow you to like go back to menu during that last sequence.
Yeah.
So we're just going to restart it real quick. And any percent, my estimate for that is 5 minutes. However, if we're good at the game, actually, I'm going to fix this real quick because it's probably bothering people. I'm just going to there we go. Perfect. Increase that percentage on the screen so that you can actually see it and it's not just an ellipses. But right here, we're going to do any percent. Any percent incorporates the usage of warps. If we're good at the game, this should take 1 minute. And so timing will begin exactly the way that it started the last time once we get into this first section. Okay. So that's in 3, 2, 1, go.
1 minute, let's go.
So, let's go. So usually in an 100% run or a warpless run, you want to get the red cube because the red gun, because the red gun has a lot of different mechanics to it. But now we're just going to get the blue gun. And before we try to do the glitch that we need to do, the warp, we're just going to grab down here and grab this spawn point. And then we're going to go back up to fly. We're going to grab all the cubes up here. And then we're going to try and do a warp by covering up the spawn point with these cubes that we just got. By just doing it right here. We're going to aim it like so. That should work. And then shoot and exit at the same time. And then click that spot on the map. Okay, didn't quite work. This is why the estimate is 5 minutes, because this is an incredibly precise trick. So we're just going to grab it here. And there we go. Ooh. Second try. Place your bets in chat how many tries it's actually going to take.
I believe in you, Osborne. You're pretty fly.
Thank you. We're going to try and see it where you want to aim it to where like there's like a grid system. You want to aim it to like the second or first grid here in relation to the sign. It's very close. It's getting like very close every time. Essentially, you just want it to cover up the spawn point that is there at the bottom of the tower. So we're gonna aim it right here. Ooh, that's really close. We're gonna try and aim it a little bit more farther down. The exact pixel or the exact part of the map or the exact part of the grid that you need to shoot at is like really, really precise, which is also nice that the crosshair is smaller sometimes. Perfect. Oh, that should have worked. I feel like that should have worked, but it did not. If we get like over the estimate and I'm still on this, but feel free to cut me off.
No,
this is like the whole run.
This is like the end of the show. This is the moment.
Yes, it should be. It should be, but the game does not feel like cooperating. This happened like pretty well in practice, but you can get stuck in spaces like this. Perfect. There we go. We did the warp. And as I said, in warps, you can travel to like anywhere, including places that you haven't been to. So why not just travel to the end of the game?
Sure.
And that's pretty much it. Come on, Ghost Cube. I know you're better than that. Give me a platform. Timing is going to end exactly where it started. You can imagine that if we had gotten that first try, it would have been really, really fast. World record is 46 seconds. And
oh, wow, okay.
That's time.
Wow, GG. Gosh, it's wild,
Yes.
like how much faster it is. I mean, you get a completely different experience, but that was very cool to see both runs
You
back
too.
to back.
The faster strat for that I don't like doing because it's so inconsistent is essentially like you grab the cubes and then you shoot the cubes at the same time that you activate the spawn point while you're falling down in order to save time. And then choose it from the map, which does save a good amount of seconds, but those are not seconds that are worth using in a marathon because it's just so inconsistent for any marathon appearance.
It seems like there's a lot going on, very very difficult, but Osborne, thank you so much. Gosh, I think I'm probably going to have dreams about the game. It was such a trip. Do you have any shout outs, comments, or anything before we wrap up?
I just want to shout out Alexander Bruce, who made this game. I want to shout out Votium, who commentated with me for my GDQ 2022 run, is also the world record holder in any percent. He is great. Shout out to all the other people in the Antichamber community, and all the other people in the community surrounding Antichamber, all the different puzzle games that are connected to Antichamber and are similar to it, because it's a very tight-knit corner of speedrunning, and I wouldn't be here without any of them, really. So, yeah. That's the main shouts that I want to do. If you want to follow me, my Twitch and Twitter are Osmorn. Those are where I'm most active. If you want to follow me on Instagram or co-host or Hive or TikTok, I'm also Osmorn there. I don't post on any of those platforms, but you could just follow me there if you want to.
Sure.
And thank you for Tippy for having me back on this show.
Of course,
I love
always.
it.
Great to have you back, and I can't thank you enough for showing off Antichamber to us tonight. Everybody, I do want to say that if you are not following Osmorn here on Twitch, make sure you do. There was a shout out given here in the Twitch chat, but as much as I hate for us to part, things that begin must also end. So that is a wrap on tonight's episode of Time Capsule. Thank you again, Osmorn, so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It was so much fun.
Yes, of course. I've been your host, Smooth Operative. Thank you all for watching. If you are interested in submitting your own speedrun for this show, you can use the command !time capsule here in our Twitch chat, or you can find me on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/smoothoperative for more information. For more hotfix, be sure to check out the VODs on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And if you are watching this on YouTube from the future and you had fun with us tonight, be sure to press the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you missed out on tonight's Hotfix shows, Random Number Generation or Time Capsule, stay tuned after the break as we will replay both shows here on twitch.tv/gamesdonequick. And make sure to tune in this weekend, 1 p.m. Eastern, for a Mega Man series celebration. But that's all I've got for now, everyone. Have a beautiful day or night wherever you are in the world, and the Hotfix crew will see you.